Yo, fellas, if y'all want to see me wife a girl that looks like this, or even this, tap in with my Instagram, man. My goal is 10K followers. If y'all active, I will follow back. Come on, y'all. I know we could do it, but hey, here go the vid. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel of BB3. Some of you may not know me, so let me introduce myself. I'm your host, KJ Killerman. I'm one of the football players on this channel, but today, it's not about football. As you all know, NBA 2K24 is coming to an end. It's a very important 2K. It's the 2K where BB3 made a name for himself and the channel really started to go up. Now today, we will be honoring all of the classic movies he dropped over the year with a full movie marathon. Now we're actually beginning to close in on 10K subscribers, so if you haven't, make sure you like and subscribe to help us reach our goal. To begin this mega movie marathon, we're going to start off with no other than Lonnie Wade. Lonnie currently has the most viewed video on the channel with over 130,000 views. He made a name for himself after playing with his cousin Corey in high school and deciding to skip college and move on straight to the G League, where he actually made a name for himself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, if it's one thing I learned in life, is that nothing is ever easy. Some people, they will say I'm a star, but I wouldn't say that at all. I'm just a guy who went through a lot of trial and error to get where. Wait. My what is you doing? You literally taking my whole intro. I know we family and all, but we ain't sharing intros, bruh. Bruh, last time I checked, this was Unguarded episode 1. Not Underrated episode 1. How is you even in this mug? Listen, man, don't worry about all that. Don't take my intro and don't be telling them no bull. Alright, so check it out. Those of you who don't know me, I go by Lonnie. Lonnie Wade to be exact. Now, you may know me from teaming up with my cousin in high school when we dominated for the Red Raiders. On that team, I was basically the second option, but me and Cuzzo as a duo, wasn't no team in the nation stopping us, even though we lost right before state, but that's besides the point. Look, when Cuzzo announced he was committing to Stanford, I was happy for him. But it was also kind of weird because we had built so much chemistry over that year. And now, I was the #1 option on the team and I had to find a way on my own. I had a lot of D1 offers including Stanford, but I decided to choose a different route. G League Ignite. Now most of you have probably seen a lot of guys come straight out of high school and ended up getting drafted by showcasing their skills on this team. So I figured why not forego college and test my own skills and see if I can make it to the league. I spent a lot of time being the second option while Cuzzo was doing his thing. But now, it was time for me to write my own story and continue my journey. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not used to this whole storytelling thing, but I'm gonna try my best to do it how Cuzzo do it. Boom! Dang, I get the same sound effects too? That's kinda hard, I ain't gonna lie. So check it out. The OGs should know that me and Cuzzo is two completely different players. I ain't gonna lie, I do not got the vertical he got, but one thing I do got is a nice tray ball. We both do play a lot of defense too. I ain't gonna lie, that's something our old coach tried to implement in our game from the beginning. I also would say that I don't pass as much as he does. I ain't gonna lie, when I get the rock, I'm looking to score that thing by any means necessary. But I don't want y'all to think I'm a selfish player. I actually look for my teammates, but most of the time, by the time I find them, the basket be right there. If at any point y'all see any similarities in me and Cuzzo game, let me know in the comments down below as I drive and get the and one bucket. I think that's how he be saying it at least. So in my first G League game, I ended up putting up 25 points with 6 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Now I ain't gonna lie, I would say that was a pretty decent showing for my first game. But next up, we had to travel to Portland. Keep in mind, I said Portland, but somehow, straight out the gate, drove down to the side and got a Milwaukee Buck. Dame Lillard fans should appreciate that bar. I ain't no Damian Lillard though, but I can kinda shoot like him. So to start off my second game, I was going crazy. And I ain't gonna lie, when I made it to the league, I wanted to be known as an elite scorer. So that's exactly what I tried to showcase while I was here in the G League. Now I did struggle with turning the ball over, but I always tried to make up for it on the other end. And I did pull some crazy shots in transition. But like I said, I struggle with turnovers. You see, back with the Red Raiders, Cuzzo was mainly the primary ball handler and I would just catch and look to score. Hey, can y'all guess what I had for breakfast this morning? A Pop-Tart. A mean one too. I did a lot of catch and shoot in high school and I tried to do the same in the NBA. It was my bread and butter. I know how much y'all hear that sound effect in Cuzzo episodes, but you gonna hear it a lot over here. Don't get it twisted though, I can get to the cup too, at will. Another similarity me and Cuzzo have is trying to push it in transition. He taught me that our last year together. He said, the more you push the ball, the better chance you have at scoring easy buckets. And I ain't gonna lie, he was right. In doing that, helped me and my team extend the lead. After I sized up this one dude, I treated him like a little boy as I got the and one lay. Well, it was supposed to be an and one lay, and I increased the lead to 10. But I knew I couldn't do it by myself, so I tried to find open teammates. In the corners and on the wing. I had to keep attacking also because this team was not going away, man. I ain't gonna lie, everybody in the G League, they play hard. But it's mainly because everybody trying to get a call up and we all fighting for the same thing. Now my case was different. You see, since I came here straight out of high school, I couldn't get a call up because I didn't get drafted yet. However, that didn't mean I couldn't get drafted if I performed well this season. But we ended up getting the dub by 9 points against this Portland team. And I ain't gonna lie, it definitely was a hard-fought W. Now in this game, I was attacking, so you know I did my thing, and I ended up dropping 40 points. And that was crazy. In my second game, I put up a 40 bomb. Great showing. Now next game, we had a home game against the G League team for the Heat. And I ain't gonna lie, I got straight to it. I was looking in the crowd, I seen Instagram models, and we was at home. You already know I was about to try to do my thing. Up early 5-6, I got the steal, and ended up getting the transition bucket right after that. Now I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. This team was at the bottom half of talent when it comes to talent in the G League. But I didn't care if you was the top team, the bottom team, or whatever. I was finna come in your building or our building and get the dub. And to be honest, you can't underestimate people in the G League because they technically still NBA players, bro. It don't matter what level. But anyway, back to this game. So I started off hot, just like the last game. And I was looking to push the ball in transition, and I got a dunk. Hey! Don't expect nothing crazy from me yet, because like I said, I ain't got the bounce like Cuzzo. I'm just a pure bucket. Now I ended up sitting the whole second quarter because we was basically blowing these boys out the water. But when I got back in the game, I picked up right where I left off. One thing I liked about the coach on this Ignite team, he allowed us to play our game and play free. So that's exactly what I tried to do, while being competitive at the same time. And we ended up getting the dub. And just like Donald Trump pulling up to the hood, them boys never stood a chance. Now I wasn't the leading scorer this game, but I still ended up putting up 27. I know Cuzzo gonna get on my head for not being the leading scorer though, but I was still finding my way. Now this next game, it would be the game where I started to turn a lot of heads and make my case for becoming a potential lottery pick. At this point in time, it was the 5th game in the season, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I was starting to feel comfortable in the league now. I already went through the drastic change from high school to league ball, and I was really getting used to it. I don't know what got into me this game, but I was going crazy shooting the ball from the tray. Contested threes, step back threes, really anything. It was a play where I was supposed to cut to the basket, and I just shot it. I'm not gonna lie, they should call this series Don't Try This at Home, because some of these shots I'm taking, if you miss them, your coach might put you on the bench. Hey! So after hitting a couple threes and catching a lob, I ain't gonna lie, I was in the zone. Couldn't nothing stop me. And this game was pretty interesting because me and they point guard was going back and forth. He even ripped me this one time. I ain't gonna lie, I got my get back though. And after I got my get back, I turned the crowd up. Threw my boy a lob, and it gave us the extra spark we needed. The defense was really keyed in on denying me, so I just looked to find open teammates whenever I could. And it started to work. The team as a unit was starting to look dominant again. I never seen a tornado in an arena, but I was definitely putting this dude in a spin cycle like one, as I got the dime to my big man. Coming into the fourth quarter, I was trying to get in them passing lanes and get easy steals. I ended up getting one, and I was wide open for a fast break dunk. And I know it's a little early, and it's 4 minutes left to go, but I hit these boys with the dagger. And after that, that was it. We won the game by a small margin, but we still got the dub. That's all that matters. Our team was starting off the season strong, man. We was 5-0, and it felt like nobody could beat us. And on top of that, your boy ended up dropping a 30-point triple-double. Yeah, I was going crazy, and I was starting to turn a lot of heads, and I was finally beginning to make a name for myself. With the way Kayell was balling in high school, I always felt like everybody looked at me as a second option. Like I wasn't good enough to be a first option, and they didn't respect my game. And that's no shade to Kayell at all. That's just showing how great he is. But with the way this season then started and this team, I think I got a real shot to get to the level that he at. Make sure y'all boys stay tuned in. And just like that, we back at it like a crack addict. Man, what's good with y'all? I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't gonna do no second episode at first, but y'all was messing with the first one, so I figured, why not continue? I ain't gonna lie, I would fill you in on what happened since we last talked, but it ain't been too much of nothing. I just became a gym rat. You see, it's been an up and down year. I've had my struggles with efficiency, and Kayell let me use his court to work on my game. I used to stay in the gym for hours just doing drills. Sometimes I'd be in there shooting like 2,000 shots. At the end of the day, I wanted to get drafted, and the bare minimum wasn't enough. I was finally starting to make a name for myself, but the real question was, could I live up to the hype? And more importantly, could I live up to the family name? I mean, y'all already know what Kayell do. Y'all see his series. I got a lot of big shoes to fill. But one thing Kayell did tell me, just focus on winning and everything else will come to you. And look, right now, we sitting at 6-1. And if we want to keep trending in this direction, we got to keep putting in work. So ironically, the next game we was playing will be up against Kayell's former G League team, the Santa Cruz Warriors. Part of me was still wishing he was on this team, so I could see how we match up at the pro level. But you already know what I was gonna do. As y'all can see, the 30 clip is activated early. But this game, you already know what I do. Push the ball in transition and try to get to the cup when I'm not shooting it. I don't know if y'all remember me telling y'all, but every game in the G League is kind of a battle, as I get the tough lay over the defender. But we all fighting for the same thing. Everybody want to go to the league, so they playing hard. But they ain't guarding up enough. Now by the time we were midway through the second quarter, man, I was starting to get my rhythm. I got the rhythm so much y'all wouldn't believe what happened. Hey! I told y'all, I ain't got the bounce like Kayell, but best believe I can get up there sometimes. But I also play defense like Kayell too, and when I do, it usually lead to some points. And y'all should know me by now. Points is what I'm all about. But my coach also been talking to me about facilitating. And now, I'm actually leading the G League in assists at 5.9. But don't get it twisted. If I feel like I got a pipsqueak guarding me, I'm trying to go to work. I don't want to hear none of that. But in all seriousness, I know I need to get out of that mindset. I mean, who knows? I could probably be averaging 10 assists per game instead of 5.9. And the more I was out there on the floor, the more I started to realize that. So I would look to attack, but when I attacked, I would try to find the open teammate. And even though Cuzzo wasn't on this team anymore, I ain't gonna lie, they was still decent. The backup PG who ended up taking his spot, man, we was going back and forth. But all in all, it wasn't enough. Now midway through the fourth quarter, tragedy was set in as one of their players got hit in the chest and collapsed on the court. Make sure y'all send y'all prayers to that boy. I ain't gonna lie, you never want to see somebody get hurt during the game. And the way he was looking, it ain't look good. Luckily, he was able to walk off the court under his own power. The arena was as quiet as a snow bunny visiting the hood for the first time. And even though that injury routed our momentum a little bit, we still had a game to finish, as I kicked and found an open teammate for the pull-up midi. Now with about 2 minutes left to go, I wanted to seal the deal and get the dagger. So I was just aggressive and I attacked the PG and ended up getting an and one lay. Should have been an and one lay, but that was it. We ended up getting the dub by like 11 points. Now y'all saw in the beginning I had been working on my efficiency, and this is why. I feel like I shot too much this game as I went 11 for 28. I had 31, 8, and 5, but I wasn't happy with this performance. But next game, it was a completely different story. And as y'all saw earlier, man, I'm starting to get up there now. I ain't gonna lie, I don't think that one deserved a sound effect. It was kind of weak. But anyways, we was going against the Pelicans G League team. And I ain't gonna lie, I was cooking like Gordon Ramsay. For the people who look up to me back at home, who maybe want to try to copy my play style, I advise you not. Do not try this at home, cause I do dumb stuff like this and pull in transition. But when you sniper gang Lonnie, you can do that. As the game went on, man, I just got deeper in my bag. It was ugly.
Damn! Oh my God!
Wait, we had that sound effect this whole time? I didn't even know that. But I'm telling y'all, I was acting up this game. I even channeled my inner Cuzzo. Hey! Who would have thought that I would be getting a poster dunk?
Damn! Oh my.
Wait, seriously, when did we get that? Why y'all didn't tell me this earlier, chat? Man, I miss out on everything. I ain't gonna lie though. Y'all know one thing I don't miss out on is getting a screen and an open tray ball. Bread and butter, no toast. Midway through the second, it was 24-7. And y'all already know, I was trying to look for that 3 so we can go up by 20. And of course, Sniper Gang Lonnie did his thing. And after this play, I really felt like I channeled my inner Cuzzo. Man, I got the steal, and right after that, I got the easy dunk. That is not me. It run in the family, I guess. But since we were up by so much, no offense to the other team, but I figured now it was time to get some practice in. As I looked to find some of my open teammates and get some more assists. I mean, I was making the right read on every play. Pick and roll, I'll just dump it off and we get the easy layup. Headed into the third quarter, I found out Ruby Rose was actually in the crowd, so yeah, I had to show out. And then coach immediately took me out the game and said, "That's enough, little bro." And that was crazy. I didn't even know I could do that. Coach must not be a fan of IHOP, because I was definitely trying to see what was up with the Pancake House. But next up, we had the Stockton Kings. And I started off the game right, getting the and one bucket. Hey, Cuzzo, that's how you be saying it, bro? And I'm not even going to try to cap to y'all. It is not 100% from the line. It's more like 88. But to keep it a stack, man, this game against the Kings was the hardest one we done had in a minute. I mean, for a while, it was just back and forth, tit for tat. It was like a boxing match. Every time we threw a punch, they threw a punch right back. But like I told y'all, the G League was full of buckets, so we was kind of getting used to that. But we just kept the defense guessing, pulling more tricks out the hat. and they could not guard. I was hooping. I felt like Kyrie with that 11 on my back. Hey, I ain't go to Stanford, but shout out to Coach Rhyme, you know what I'm saying? But nah, I'm serious though. This team will not go away, and we cannot break off a sizable lead. And me, I just kept trying to attack because I had an aggressive defender on me, bruh. But luckily, I was able to get around them a few times and get to the cup. And them boys was not trying to let me shoot. They was picking up from like half court. But that was cool, because I just get easy looks to my teammates. Man, I remember this one play I had a crazy assist that I threw from the opposite free throw line. I didn't even know I had arm strength like that. Might have to go to the NFL Combine next year. It seemed like every time I was bringing the ball up, they was picking up at half, bro. It was so annoying. But luckily, I rejected the screen and got an easy dunk out of it. Y'all ever read The Hunger Games? Yeah, I like that series. And I ain't gonna lie, after that dunk, I was definitely catching fire like Katniss Everdeen. I hit this crazy spin move into a jump shot. And after that, I just got activated. But that defense was staying disciplined, man. I mean, I was trying everything in my power to get a shot off. And they was just stopping everything I was doing. But luckily, I was still able to find my teammates every time. And then finally, after giving the ball up, one of my teammates set me a screen, and I finally got a wide open look for a corner three. Boom! Shout out Peter Griff, that's my dog. Y'all must have thought I was playing when I said I started catching fire. Nah, bro, they literally could not stop me after that. It seemed like every possession, I was either getting a layup, a dunk, a shot, really whatever I wanted. I was just taking whatever the defense gave me though. I think it was just because of that home crowd energy, man. Every time we was at the crib, they was loud in there. And on this next play, I ended up sizing up my defender, and I hit a shot that if somebody would have hit it on me, I would have gave my jersey to my coach and left the arena. But y'all know what type of player I am, and you know what I do. Got the steal, got the ball right back. Boom! Double kill. I'm telling y'all, do not try this at home because I definitely had a wide open lane. Hey man, but like Sabrina said, if you could shoot, you could shoot. As I end up getting another steal and got the easy finish at the other end. As the fourth quarter went on, man, the outcome was pretty much decided. I mean, we was just out there waiting for the clock to run out. It was a Family Guy marathon. Cause I got another corner three. Shout out Peter Griff. But anyway, we ended up getting the dub by a sizable deficit. And I ain't gonna lie, I had a 40-point game, but I was still a little shook up about my efficiency. But there was plenty of room to get better. And just like that, we got 3 dubs back to back. You already know what that means, man. We would end up moving on to 9-1. And if we kept this momentum going, it was gonna get scary for the rest of the league. As the season went on, our team was getting better and better. Now last time we talked, we had about 9 wins and 1 loss. But now, we had improved our record to 40-2. And not only were we winning, I was also breaking records in the G League. And after a slow start to the season, I was becoming more efficient and a better player all around. Sometimes I do wonder if the college route would have been better for me. But I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be in the G League. I was learning a lot from the vets that was helping out with the team. Man, if it wasn't for them, we probably wouldn't even be in this position. Even if they would tell me something I didn't want to hear, I would always try to key into what they were saying and try to learn more. And honestly, I needed it. I mean, y'all see what Cuzzo been doing in the league. I gotta live up to the family standard now. I can't get drafted and be a bust. But speaking of the draft, I began to headline several different draft blogs. The way I've been playing lately had my draft stock rising. And I ain't gonna lie, man, after I seen that, it made me work 10 times harder. In practice, I was starting to show out more than usual. One of the OGs even told me if I keep this up, I might reach that level Cuzzo was at. And that's saying a lot, man. But I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? To come to the G League and write my own story. I know my name gonna always be tied to his because we family. But they gotta know me for my game and not his game. I'm my own person. I love Cuzzo, but I gotta do my thing, man. Now next up, we had a big game against Sharif Cooper and Amani Bates. Now some thought Sharif was the best PG in the league, and we all know how Amani Bates is, but hey, they ain't matched up with me yet. So as soon as it was game time, I knew I had to prove myself. And just like that, it was go time. Now as I mentioned, this was an epic PG duel, so everybody around the league was talking about this, and they was waiting for it. And straight out the gate, our big man got dunked on. Yeah, it was a rough way to start the game. But y'all already know, we got 40 wins and 2 losses. We gotta come in here and just do what we normally do. But Amani Bates, he tried to heat up quick, so we had to come down on the other end and get a bucket. But y'all boys ain't new here, man. As soon as we get the board, we pushing that ball in transition. Hit Sharif with a nice move, and then I went straight to the cup for a light little dunk. I told y'all I ain't got the bounce like that, but I'm starting to get up a little bit. Nothing like Cuzzo though. We got the board and pushed it in transition again, and let me introduce y'all to Sniper Gang Lonnie. But y'all already knew what it was though. And at first, I was playing some good defense on Sharif. He was on a little bit of a cold streak at first, but hey, he tough, man. He ended up getting away with a little offensive foul, but he got his first bucket. I don't know how he got away with that, but it is what it is. I was just hoping the refs ain't cheat us this game like they did UConn. But I mean, it's the G League, this ain't college basketball. As I get the nice assist to my big man, and then it was time to cook. 11 up, the quarter almost over. So you know I gotta do what I gotta do. They put their backup PG on me, and I went straight to the cup. Them boys already knew I could shoot, but they forgot I was lightning quick. But hey, for their sake, they better find out fast before this game get ugly. And midway through the second quarter, that's exactly what happened. I mean, we had about a 12-point lead, and then I caught a lob and made it a 14-point lead. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sharif's girlfriend is Ash Cash, and she was in the building. No disrespect, but hey, she gotta come rock with a real shooter. I made eye contact with her after that 3, and that's where I really started to heat up. And on the next possession, I got a little back screen from my teammate, and I ended up finishing a tough layup. It definitely should have been an and one, but I told y'all, we got the UConn refs, they ain't rocking with me today. I was honestly surprised that we had a sizable lead. I mean, this was the best PG versus the best PG. It don't get no better than that. But that's just a testament to how hard we've been working all season. But I told y'all, man, I was starting to heat up. Had to hit Sharif with the up, you dropped something? Then I got the easy dunk on the other end. It was really over with from that point. I mean, we had about a 20-point lead. Now it was just a matter of time. Ended up hitting a step back on their backup PG. Yeah, I was a matchup nightmare for these boys. Now it had to be some thick Latinas in the crowd or something, because these boys was looking discombobulated on defense. I mean, on that fast break, they ain't even guard me when I dunked it. I mean, we can clearly tell I'm a different breed, because if I see a thick Latina in the building, boy, I'm finna try to go for 50, and ain't nobody stopping me, just like they didn't on this layup. But like what Nick Cannon should have did, it's time to wrap this thing up, man. I mean, we up by like 30. It was a good battle between me and Sharif, but all in all, this thing over. I got my last little bucket, and it was a tough one. Hit a turnaround, fade away, close shot. Your boy was different. I was getting in my bag now. And just like that, we got the dub. Your boy had took down 2 of the best players in the G League. And like a letter that's being sent to the post office, I was stamped. And on top of all that, I had another 40-point performance. Now don't get me wrong, I'm cool with dropping 40, but we gotta lock in, man. We had one more game to go before the playoffs started. I was focused on getting drafted, but hey, I'm here in the G League, so I might as well try to win the ship, right? Or at least some awards. Let's maximize this as much as we can. I ended up losing my wallet before this game, so sadly, I couldn't use none of my debit cards. But luckily, I looked on the floor and found a couple dimes. Yep, straight out the gate, we was trying to go crazy. Y'all already know what we doing. We getting that ball, we trying to push that thing in transition. Hit him with a nice little hesitation move. It was nobody in the paint. and I went up for the easy off one, two-handed slam. Hopefully I can get my bounce up more in the league, because these dunks be looking kind of weak after I watch them later. But in the first quarter, I was trying to do a little bit of everything, man. I ended up talking to Kayell a little bit before the game, and he told me start posting up. I mean, that's what NBA scouts look for. If you a point guard that can post up, it just make your game even better. You can do more, you versatile with it. And I ended up cooking this dude with a bunch of jab steps and hit a tough contested three. They really couldn't guard me out here. And this thing was getting absolutely out of hand. I mean, it was 8-20. And I had to welcome these boys to Lonnie Island. I don't know what was on their scouting report, but these boys was definitely leaving me wide open on these threes. Hey, so I kept cooking. Ended up sending that boy to the gulag, and then went to the store and got some barbecue lays. I mean, it was way too easy out here, man. Somebody need to stop me. I know I be talking crazy, y'all, but hey, I was still locked in. Like I said, the playoffs was coming up, so we can't take this game lightly, even if we is winning by a lot. As I get the nice dish to my teammate and he hit the corner three. But like I was saying, we got to be serious and focused. I'm trying to win a chip while I'm here, no doubt. By the way, what's your favorite Pop-Tart? Because I had this dude looking stupid off the pump fake. Man, drove to the lane, hit a nice little acrobatic lay right over their center. Way too easy. I was super hot this game. Going into the third quarter, they started to make a little bit of a comeback. So you know what I had to do? I had to keep being aggressive. Asked for a screen and ended up getting another tough lay that should have been an and one. I don't know why we keep getting these UConn refs, but we need to get some better officials because they out here hacking, man. Bet you if I had an Iowa jersey on, I'd be getting every call. But speaking of Iowa, I was wide open in transition, and I pulled that thing just like I'm Kayell Clark. And just like that, I drained it. These dudes couldn't stop me anywhere on the floor. By the time the fourth quarter hit, it was the same situation as last game. We was up by like 20, and this one was about over with, as I drove and got a tough layup. But I mean, hey, we handled business this game. This was the last game before the playoffs, and we was looking strong. It was looking like everybody on the team was locked in, the rookies, the vets. All we had to do was go out and show out. Nice little Euro step, shout out to D Wade. But after that, coach decided enough was enough, and he subbed me out the game. To be honest, I thought I was going to be out a little earlier, but it was all good. But anyway, we ended up getting the dub fairly easy in dominating fashion. I wish Kayell could have helped out the Chicago G League team because these boys was trash. I mean, that game wasn't that competitive at all. But as for the stats, your boy ended up dropping 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. I would say all around, I had a pretty decent game. Now the G League playoffs, them things started before the actual NBA playoffs. So I couldn't go to Kayell and ask him for some advice about how I should approach this. But he still gave me advice on how I should approach it in general, even though he hadn't been there yet. And he told me, just lock in on the details. It's going to be different than the regular season. I mean, you're going to be playing a team in a series now. And some of the vets was telling me, some of these G League guys take the playoffs very seriously. I mean, this is their chance to get called up. So they got to show out at the next stage. And for me, I was in the same boat. I still had a chance to boost my draft stock and show these scouts what I can do. So you best believe I was fully locked in. And now, all we got to do is go out there and execute. And after that, the NBA dream gonna come true. And just like that, it was time for the playoffs. I mean, everything we worked for this season all comes down to this moment. Now, playoffs in the G League is different. It ain't no series. It's one game, win or go home. I wasn't worried about the draft. I was just focused on getting these wins and seeing if we could end up getting the G League championship. Now, I'd be lying to y'all if I said I didn't have nerves before this game. But as soon as that tip-off happened and my teammate threw me the ball, hey, I was locked in. Can't be scared of none in these moments. Hey, it's playoff time, it's a playoff atmosphere, and our fans came out here to see us handle business. So with all that being said, Hey, whoever in front of me, they gonna be in trouble all night. On the very first possession, I called ISO. I went straight at they PG and ended up getting a tough finish over they big man. It definitely should have been an and one, but hey, I ain't finna worry about the refs today. We gotta handle business. Now, we came into the playoffs as the 1 seed in our conference, so that means the first game will be against the lowest seed. And I ain't gonna lie, them boys talent-wise, they couldn't match up with us, as I hit a crazy layup over their point guard in transition. But hey, we can't underestimate nobody. I mean, just because it's Sniper Gang Lonnie, it don't mean these boys can't upset us. But I started off the game like any other player would want to do. I hadn't missed yet, and we had an 8-point lead already. And then I ended up hitting a tough midi, and then we was up by 10. Now, I told y'all that I thought these boys couldn't match up with us, so I definitely kept attacking. I mean, I hadn't missed yet. Wouldn't you do the same if you was in my shoes? You ain't even gotta lie, I already know you would. And it was a nightmare for these boys. They started to come back a little bit, but hey, once that chopper gunner activated, you gonna have to call for help. And I didn't stop there. Right after I hit the 3, I ended up getting a steal in the backcourt and got an easy dunk. I was starting to get up now. Now, as the game went on, the team fought back and they was able to cut our lead down to 5, but they forgot the sprinkler systems was on. As your boy hit another 3. I'm not gonna lie, I was active on both sides of the floor the whole game, and I ended up getting a steal on somebody who shouldn't have had the ball, and then I ended up getting a poster dunk right over they big man. I was really feeling like Corey Cash this game. I'm telling y'all, it running the family. And when I wasn't facilitating, coach drew up some back screens for me, and hey, I hit this crazy up and under lob. Didn't even know I could do that. But you know, your boy kept attacking, and I was hitting all types of difficult shots. But that just goes to show you, man, every play in the playoff counts. As you can see, we got up to a big lead early, and we was basically running away with it. And I ain't gonna lie, them boys started hooping, but it just wasn't enough. As you can see, they had a ferocious dunk on the other end. Hey, but I'll be damned if I go out like that. So on the next possession, I attacked the lane, and I hit this crazy switcheroo layup. Hey, that thing had the crowd jumping afterwards. I was really tapping into a Kyrie Irving Jelly Fam type bag. But hey, you know we play that defense too. Got another steal, dumped it off to my 4-man, and he got an easy dunk. And just like that, that early lead we had was starting to build up again. And I kept cooking. The coach had to call a timeout afterwards because he didn't know what was going on. They had to draw up something. But as the game went on and we reached the 4th quarter, I ain't gonna lie, man, this thing was over with. Once you get up by like 15 or 20 in the playoffs, you can kiss your chances goodbye. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I invited some thick snow bunnies to the game, and they definitely did they justice. Had these boys discombobulated on defense, and they ain't know what was going on. They was too focused on the baddies. I ain't gonna lie, you gotta attack the opposition any way possible. But on the next possession, we got the steal and I was running out in transition. There was nobody in front of me. Ended up hitting the easy lay, and just like that, that would seal the deal. Afterwards, I had to slam the ball on the ground and let these boys know, hey, this thing was over with. Coming into the second game, I wanted to take off early. Hey, I was going crazy last game, and maybe I still had some fire in me. So right off the bat, drove for an easy layup. And on the very next possession, they point guard was too little and too slow. He couldn't keep up with me, and I ended up getting an easy dunk. I'm telling y'all, I was starting to get up there now, and the defense was not expecting that. They already knew I was explosive and quick, but hey, I was playing above the rim now, and I guess they didn't mention the jump shot in the scouting report. Because I was definitely wide open on that tray ball. And on the next possession, we ended up getting the board, and I was pushing that thing in transition. I told y'all that guard was too slow, and I got the easy dunk to put us up 14-0. Then right after that, they ended up smoking one of the free throws, and I threw a crazy full court pass to hit my boy Ron in transition. That boy hit an insane tomahawk like he was young LeBron or something. Hey, you gotta love it. But I'm telling y'all, the team was clicking more than we had all season. And me, I was playing at an all-star level. I hit this spin move in transition and hit this crazy acrobatic lay. I don't even know how it went in. I was off balance, I just threw that thing up and it went in. Hey, can somebody remind me what firecrackers sound like on the 4th of July? Boom! Ah, yeah, that's right. I almost forgot. Man, I know they point guard was feeling like R. Kelly this game, cause he was fighting for his life. I thought he was a hockey player, cause that boy was definitely on skates the whole time. But I mean, everything was going wrong for them. They point guard ended up getting a backcourt violation, and it had everybody in the arena discombobulated. I mean, look at their coach's face. I mean, dude just looked like he saw a Violet Myers video. On the next play, I did what I normally do when these females get to tripping, and I just stepped back. After that, I had a wide open mid-range jump shot, and somebody better get that defender some help. But the tragedies kept on going on for this team. The same dude who got the backcourt violation dribbled that mug straight out of bounds. And that dude was frustrated, you could tell. And at this point, we was up by 20, and hey, we was just killing these boys, man. They couldn't stop me in the paint, out the paint, Franklin Saint, walk by and make the girls faint. Hey, it didn't matter, as I got the Pop-Tart and drove to get the and one bucket. My boy Ron dapped me up after that one. Hey man, this thing was looking like it was over with. Like a snow bunny making food at a cookout. Man, these boys ain't stand a chance. And on the very next possession, I called for a pick and roll, and then I ended up rising up for another dunk. Hey, I came down awkwardly. I thought I injured myself, but it was all good. And just like that, man, we blew them boys out the water. Don't get me wrong, I was happy about the dub, but we had 2 more wins to go. Alright, so I'm going to start off the next game by giving a shout out to my boy Peter Griffin, because I drove and found my teammate for the boom corner 3. But now we in prime time. You see, it's the semifinals, so it's down to the last 4 teams. And hey, this team is better than both of the teams we already played, so we definitely got to lock in. But that didn't stop me from attacking. I was too quick for these boys. I was starting to drive and see nobody in the paint, which would lead to easy dunks. Y'all must think I'm joking or something. But on the very next play, I ended up doing the same thing. Drove right by the defender and got another easy dunk. It was a little baby tomahawk, but I feel like y'all still gotta count that as a mean one. But I definitely wasn't getting up like that dude just did on the other end. And after he did that, I wasn't going for nothing. Came down, called for a pick and roll, and I drove straight to the cup to get the acrobatic layup. Crazy finish. A lot of scouts tried to criticize my game because I used the pick and roll a lot, but I mean, the pick and roll will lead to easy dunks like that. But you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And on the next possession, I guess the defender's ankles was broke as I drove right by him to get the easy layup over the big man. Now it was at this point in the game where we really started to take off. I mean, we ain't jump out to an early lead like we did on the other teams, but after halftime, we definitely did that. And I was starting to get hyped, man. I felt like nobody could stop me, and my draft stock was definitely rising. I ain't want to focus on that, but you best believe it was in the back of my mind. But don't think just because we was up by 30, I was going to let up. I mean, I kept my foot on their neck the whole game. I don't care if we up by 50. Until that clock hit 0, this game ain't over. I was running in transition, seeing this defender, and y'all pray for that boy, man. Definitely sent him to the gulag, and then hit the tray ball right after. And after that, the crowd was going wild. I mean, they was already losing by a lot, and that was just icing on the cake. With 3 minutes left to go in the third, I probably hit one of the craziest layups in the game. Yeah, that thing was wild. And just like that, we got the dub. The other coach ain't even try to shake our hands. He just hit us with a quick wave and was out of there. And now, we in the finals. I don't think anybody that was watching G League basketball wanted any other finals matchup than me versus Sharif Cooper. And starting off, hey, he got the first bucket of the game. And then on the other end, I came down and got an easy dunk. Now, this was the first game where we didn't jump off to an early lead first. I mean, we was down 5, but that didn't stop the attacking though. I ended up seeing the big and weak side, and I just rose up. And just like that, I had 2 dunks already in the game, and one of them was a poster. I can't lie to y'all though, I started off the game struggling. I just couldn't find my shot, they was doing a good job of making me uncomfortable on offense. I mean, I would still get my buckets here and there, but it was not the usual start I normally have. Plus, Sharif was hitting crazy shots like this. These boys was trying to get us up out of there. After having one of the worst starts I had all season, I was benched early. And my coach told me if we want to win this game, I got to find out how to play better. So when he subbed me back in, you best believe I was on timing. Called for a pick and roll, hit a step back. Boom! Hey, you got to step up on that. Jump shot ain't going nowhere. Luckily, my team was holding their own, so they kept the game close until I got in. But, I mean, when Amani Bates shooting shots like this, it ain't much you could do about it. We had to worry about him and Sharif. I mean, they was both cooking. 1 minute he would score, and then the next minute Sharif was getting and one layups. Two-headed monster on this team. Early in the third, they still had the lead. But hey man, it was now or never. So I was gonna come off a screen, create myself, do whatever I needed to do to try to get this win. But me trying to do everything led me to get tired fast. So when that happened, I just tried to get my teammates involved. And when I called their number, them boys definitely answered, I ain't gonna lie. But this game was a grudge match, man. Next thing you know, it was 3 minutes left to go in the fourth and it was a tie game. Ended up driving and kicking, and luckily, my teammate made the right pass. But they were scoring on the other end as well. And with a 1-point lead, moments like this is what I live for. Call the ISO. Man, Sharif can't guard me. I'm the best PG in the league. And on the other end, Amani Bates got free, and he ended up hitting a clutch 3-point shot to make it 84-84. And with 50 seconds left to go, I had to make something happen. Called for a pick and roll, ended up slicing right by the defense, and ended up getting a crazy finish that would put us up by 2. Everybody in the arena was going crazy. But hey man, we still got time left. Them boys called a timeout, but there's still 44 seconds left on the clock. And in the huddle, I was just telling them, hey, all we got to do is finish. If we execute, we're going to be walking away with a championship. With 35 seconds left to go in the game, all we needed was one stop. Amani Bates ended up getting free off of a pin down. Boom! Boy had ice in his veins. He hit a clutch 3. But on the next possession with 12 seconds left, I had to shoot it. And this one was for all the marbles. Game on the line. And your boy ended up draining the 3 over 2 defenders. Whenever you call me, I will be there. Whenever you need me, I will be there. Everybody in the arena was going wild when that shot went through the basket. I wasn't going out like that. If I had to put the team on my back and carry us to the promised land, I was going to do that. And after that, the Cavs immediately called a timeout. All we got is 9 seconds. We got to close this thing out, and we champions, man. So on the next possession, I guarded Sharif. I ain't want nobody else guarding him. They ended up inbounding the ball. I was trying my hardest not to let him get it to Sharif, but eventually they kicked it to their power forward. He passed it to Sharif, and I ended up playing some amazing defenses. I got the clutch block on him, and the clock hit 0. And just like that, your boy was solidified. I had a G League championship. After an amazing battle between me and one of the best, if not the best player in the G League, I had to dap him up. Man, we left it all on the line. He had 40 and I had 38. Great game. And what an amazing finish to the season. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit in my thoughts because that was my last G League game ever. I'll always remember everything I've been through and what it took to get here. But now, y'all boys know, it was time for the next chapter.
With the 5th pick in the NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select
Lonnie Wade. me and Wemby gonna end up teaming up. Y'all boys stay tuned, cause this rookie season about to get crazy. Dang, man, that was a crazy movie. Definitely a classic. I know Lonnie has a lot of fans on this channel. Before our next movie, we're gonna move on to another fan favorite, no other than Corey Cash. The underrated movie actually was the first video on BB3's channel to hit over 100,000 views. It's currently sitting at close to 120,000 views, and it's honestly one of my favorites. We got to see Corey go from high school to college and then eventually get drafted. If you're looking for a realistic story, this is definitely one right here. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. If it's one thing I learned in life, is that nothing is ever easy. Some people say I'm a star, but I wouldn't say that at all. I'm just a guy who went through a lot of trial and error to get where I'm at. And to be honest with you, I'm not even supposed to be here. I never chose to live a life like this. I'm just a product of my environment, as some people say. But in order for some of you to truly understand why I do what I do, how I am, and why I work so hard, we're gonna have to start from the beginning. Because I started off as a young kid with just a big dream, and I wanted to achieve it. For those who don't know me, my name is Corey Cash. I grew up in the roughest part of the city. You gotta have tough skin to make it out of there. Mom's always had me playing sports since I was little, and basketball just happened to be the one that stuck with me. I go to Bluff High School, a school that's not that far from our area. Now Bluff, it is what it is. A school without much money and little opportunity. I tried out for the team as a freshman and my sophomore year. Got cut both years. My best friend Mike, he was on the team, and he was doing his thing. Junior year, the coach left, and then Mike's uncle ended up taking over. Me being close with Mike, that helped me get my opportunity to finally show what I can do and make the team. Once I made it, I started to be a gym rat. It's hard juggling life's challenges and grinding at the same time, but I had to make a way. Pretty soon it was time for our first game of the season. Coach had connections and had us going against some of the toughest schools in the state. Nobody on this team thought we were ready for it, but Coach did. He texted me a day before the game, and I locked in. Yo, here we go. First high school game of the season going against Fairfax. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. This team got a nice little trio. So we can't come in here playing with these boys. Well, me specifically. Corey can't come in here playing with these boys. But you know, man, first game of the season, I don't know what I'm about to do. I start off the game getting scored on. You know what I'm saying? But it's a whole lot of game left to play. Coach drew up a little flat screen for me. We coming off that screen, you already know. Boom! Hey, I'm locked in. I told y'all when I was on the couch, I was locked in. But you know, Fairfax, they was actually in the state championship last year, so we ain't even finna play with these boys. Well, I'm not. That's a midi. But aside from all this, man, if y'all rock with this storyline in this series, please let me know down in the comments. I'm finna start this series. I'm finna do this daily, weekly, monthly, whatever we gotta do. My man Mikey hitting that tray ball. Mikey with the blue shoes, straight shooter, bro. Straight shooter. Y'all gonna learn more about him later. But the CPU out here hitting post fades, like, come on, man. These boys in high school are different. Hey, it's gonna be a challenge against Fairfax, I ain't gonna lie. Score 8-7. I'm trying to get to the cup. Dish it to my big man. Put him on a poster. First game of the... Hey, His Instagram gonna be jumping after this game. I promise you that. You know, we some young boys, but he got motion. You feel me? I'm calling for that screen, trying to see what I got. Pull up, but look at my boy D. Oh my gosh, that boy got some bounce on him. I ain't even gonna fake it to you, man. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. I'm finna have a lot of fun with this series. I didn't even know you could get a bunch of cyber faces and actual high school players in 2K. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta be smart. You gotta do some digging, and you gonna find them. I promise you. But you know, score 15-9, first game of the season. Like I said, we ain't even doing too much, man. We just feeling it out, seeing what we got. And Fairfax, man, I felt like they came into this game a little too flat in the beginning. And we was charged up. I told you we was locked in and ready. I'm going to the cup, floating, get the and one. Should have been an and one. Ref wasn't messing with me though. It's all good, man. Corey, y'all gonna learn about this dude, man. He a dog, man. I'm telling you. I get the board, pushing the tempo. Going to the cup again. It's way too easy. I'm telling you, man. But like I said, y'all finna learn some more about this dude, man. He got a nice little story. And I'm just here to tell it for him, you feel me? I actually done had this character around for a while. Probably since 2K16, but right now we actually gonna put it into a story mode and see how y'all like it. Cause the 2K story modes, bruh, they garbage. They terrible. Like, I don't never even play my career for real no more. So this is the only fun I can have on 24, to be honest with you. Getting that and one bucket. But hey, I forgot what I was going to say. But I got the Gatorade symbol already, man. And it's only the second quarter. That's how you know I'm out here doing everything I can to get this team to win. Got him with the pump fake. That's a Pop-Tart. But I got the and one bucket. And one bucket. You know, every time they send me to the line, man, it's almost 100%. Almost 100% every time. We lock in on them free throws, man. I'm a gym rat, like I told y'all. But as the game went on, man, like I said, I feel like they started flat. They tried to make a little bit of a comeback, but we was just consistent the whole game. You see, bro, picking me, but I can't let you get that, my boy. I cannot let you get that. You know what I'm saying? It is a mean poster in this game. I ain't gonna say who it was on. You just gotta watch and see, man. Trying to get the pick and roll action right here, seeing what I got. Get the finish over two big men, two centers in the paint. Fairfax got some good centers, man. A lot of these, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, a lot of these teams that's in this high school league that I created, they is like that. I'm not even the best player. I do not have the highest overall. If y'all don't believe me, I will show you right after this game. Well, right after this video, I mean. So next video, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I'm really trying to distract y'all from the fact that I just got bodied. So don't even pay attention to that, you feel me? But my player wanted his get back. You saw the way he was stomping around, man. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get the pick and roll action. I don't even need it. I'm going to reject that. That's how we do that. That's how who do you do it for? That's what y'all need to ask yourself. Who do you really do it for? Because Corey, hey, he do it for the trenches, man. Y'all don't even know what this man been through, but y'all gonna find out. It's a crazy storyline. I really wanted to dunk that, but you know, I had that Gatorade symbol and my knees just weren't cooperating with my mind, bro. I really had a different idea in mind, but hey, sometimes your body be saying no, but your mind be telling you yeah. Do not think about that too much. I know some of y'all out here crazy. But this, man, this school, coach like to run a lot of pick and roll action. But I feel like next video, I'm going to actually go into coaching settings and try to change up our play style, because I don't want to have these videos be all cheesy. Like I want to make them entertaining. But after this dunk right here, that was basically the nail in the coffin, man. Them boys did not come to hoop. I promise you they didn't. Ended off the first game, man. I had a decent little performance. I'm gonna show you the stat line, but it's not the end of the story. A couple days later, it was time to hoop again against the team who had won the state championship a state over from us. Now, I knew these boys had an elite roster and it was going to be a challenge, but, like I said, we locked in and we don't duck no smoke. But after this game, little did I know, my whole life was about to change. Game 2. We out here ready to compete, man. Like I told y'all, I'm locked in from the beginning. Let me get that screen real quick. I'm going straight to the first play of the game. Listen, man. I told y'all finna find out what Corey about. This man is a triple-double machine. I'm still not the best player in high school yet, but I'm gonna get there, though. And one. I'm on a run by myself. I'm trying to go on a run by myself. Like I said, man, this team just won a state championship, bro. We cannot play with them. We cannot play with them at all. For some reason, my knees still ain't found out how to work. So I can't get no flashy dunks off the lob, but hey, he got a little bit of jelly fam in him, man. But I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Compared to that first team, the Badgers are a complete different ball game, man. Instead of a trio, and I wouldn't even say Fairfax had a trio. Hold on, Mikey. Man, I wouldn't even say they had a trio for real, like a decent one. But this team got a legit 4 good players. Like, they almost got a full starting 5. He just cooked me right there. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That's how I knew these boys was ready to play. So I had to come with my A game, man. I was locked in. The first game I only had 26. What are you doing? First game I only had 26. Hey, man, I had 20 by the half in this game. I promise y'all, I was not playing no games with these boys. You know what I'm saying? Coach calling plays. I don't want to hear none of that. We running that screen and roll action. I'm going to the cut. Hey, man, sometimes you just got to give Corey the ball and get out the way. But it's actually crazy because I feel like I'm a pass first type of player. Where is he going? What is he doing? And one. They need that time out. Tell their coach, draw up something. You need to draw up something, man. It's getting real out here for these boys. But, hey, this game is not over, man. You see how quick it just went from 19-9 to us leading by 1 point. I'm trying to sauce him up, but I get another post. Hey, I told y'all, man. I told y'all. I don't even got to say it. Y'all already heard me the first time, but hey, I had the double on that paint beast because he's a top high school player, man. He's on the ESPN rank, so I got to watch that, but they point guard a shooter. You know what I'm saying? With some teams, you got to pick your poison. I'm calling for the screen right here. Y'all know we love that screen and roll action. Oh, my goodness. Another poster. Y'all have to stop playing with me, man. This game, and a lot of people's watching this game, man. Like I said, this team just won the state championship and the state over.
Hey!
I don't know if y'all been counting, because I haven't, but I just know that's a lot of dunks, man. But he got his dunk back, too. He wanted his get back. But like I was saying, bro, it is a lot of people watching this game. For one, just because we beat Fairfax and we weren't supposed to. So the little fans we do got in our little small area, they watching. But we going against, oh my Lord. It don't get too much better than this, man. This is a prime time game, and I'm out here looking like an NBA player. I'm out here legit looking like an NBA player, man. But hey, this team, this game, man, it's prime time, man. Everybody watching this. Right there, we cut it to a 3-point game. You know what I'm saying? It's been a rough one. They've been hitting shots, and I just decided to step back and hit a shot of my own. Coach, call timeout. You gonna need it. We here, man. I'm telling you. We don't care about your state championship. We trying to get one, you feel me? But look, though. We just here to hoop, man. That's all we here to do. We don't care about your rank, how much you won. That's another... Come on, man. Come on, man. I don't even gotta say too much, man. We out here competing. We out here. It's a tie game right now. I'm locking up, though. We finna try to take the lead right here. I'm coming down the court. I see my Brody. It's like 4 threes in a row. We turned, man. 3-point game. 4 minutes left. They came to play. They point guard. He tough, man. He tough. He got 16. This game gonna come down to who wanted more, to be honest. But right here, we cannot get the board because of that paint beast. I'm telling you, you're a top player, man. ESPN ranking. And now we got a tie game, fool. Crazy. Crowd going nuts right now. But hey, I've been putting on the show all game, so I got to make another play happen. Mike! I'm going to find my shooter, man. I'm telling you, that's the best shooter in the country. I'm going to find him. 4-point game. Still trying to make something happen, man. I'm looking. I'm surveying the field. I see my Brody. Yo, I need to stop playing with me, man. Mikey, what you got, bruh? After this play, I pretty much knew it was over, because what in the world was that? They out here doing some Harlem Globetrotter type stuff, man. But hey, after that, man, that was pretty much the nail in the coffin. We gonna win this game by 8. You know what I'm saying? That's 2-0 to start the season. We still got a long way to go, though, man. But I'm happy we beat this team. I know y'all probably thinking this story sound really good right now. Starting off 2-0 against teams we weren't supposed to beat, and now we got some buzz. It's crazy because our team barely won last year before I played. But next up, we got another big matchup, and it's a rivalry game against the Eastside Huskies. I mentioned I lived in the roughest part of the city down south, but the east side, man, it's just as rough. Drugs, gang violence, and man, it's an all-out war zone. I try to stay in my section and stay away from the east. I was once homies and went to school with they starting PG, Lamont Grant. Lamont always thought he was better than me, though. And word on the street is, he telling people in the city he gonna blow us out since our school hasn't beat them in years. Man, after I heard that, I locked in. And man, we finally here. Rivalry game against Lamont, man. And the whole game plan going into this was just to make sure we made him uncomfortable. We already know he a 20 points per game scorer. And I had the assignment all night, and I was going to make it tough for him. But I had to rely on my teammates, too. You see them knocking down the tray early. But, hey, it's still early in the game. And if you was here last video, you already know what I do. I'm finna cross him up real quick, and I'm going straight to the cup. Get the and one bucket. My teammates was hyped. The whole city outside today. Everybody watching. A lot of people talking. So you already know what I'm about to do in this big moment, man. I'm about to show up. And I told y'all, when I go to the line, it's almost 100% every time. You feel me? Trying to get the little screen and roll action with my boy. And hold on, I'm finna get the... After that dunk, man, I just got super hype. I'm super locked in. I just got an and one lay and a dunk. I'm fully focused. You see me pushing the tempo in the open court. Y'all know this is where I thrive. Hold on, step back. What you doing, bro? What is he doing? Man, hey, Lamont, you was talking to the whole city, my boy. He got a nice little bucket right there. It was weak. It was really weak. I ain't even mean to call it nice. But, hey, got to get some more screen and roll action. I'm trying to set up a floppy for Mike. And y'all wouldn't believe me if I told you Mike shot 2 for 10 this whole game. But hold up. Boom! He was really struggling. So the team had to rely on me in this situation. I couldn't let Lamont and the others get off. But at the same time, man, it's 5-on-5. I can't guard everybody. You know, I'm a good defensive player, but I can't guard everybody. Hold on, end of the quarter coming down. I need that ISO real quick. Coach put the ball in my hands. I don't know why they put this dude on me because he cannot guard me. I'm finna go straight to the lane and get the lay. Perfect way to end off the quarter, man. We got some momentum going. We got a nice little lead, but, hey, no lead is safe when you playing the east side, man. They rank higher than us in points. So we just got to stay fully focused and keep going, man. You see, they do good in transition. We do good in transition, man. It's a chess match for real, bro. But, hey, it all comes down to who got the better player. And you know that's going to be me. And one lay. I'm telling y'all, man. After those first 2 points, I was fully locked in the whole game. I got 13 points right now, and it's only the second quarter. But when I'm at that line, say it with me, it's 100% every time. You feel me? I'm a gym rat. I work on the free throws more than anything. Trying to get the trap right there. It didn't work out. Give me that. After that block, man, I felt sorry for bro. I ain't even mean to do him like that. I get boards too, by the way. Hold on. I'm going to cross him over. Get the Euro step lay. Come on, man. I came to play. I'm not playing with the east side. They was telling the whole city disrespecting us. Lay. I don't know what's up, man. My knees just ain't been feeling it lately, bro. Like, I've been trying to get a alley-oop dunk for the past 2 games, and we in the 3rd game, and I still can't do it. But maybe it just come with time. I mean, this is my first full season playing. They knocking down the 3 right there. They trying to stay in it, bro. But we trying to stretch this lead out to the point where they can't get it. Nice block by my boy Dwight. You know I'm running in transition. Hold up with the switcheroo. Right here we got an ISO on Lamont. You know what happened last time the quarter was ending. And I feel like he can't guard me either. Boy, you was talking all that stuff to the whole city. Hold on. Let me hit the turnaround Luka jumper. Look, heading into the 3rd quarter, man. We got a 10-point lead. Give me that. Man, I'm just all over the floor tonight, man. I'm getting blocks, I'm getting steals, I'm getting boards, and I'm also scoring. I'm really trying to do it all for my team. Like I told y'all earlier, Mike, he was struggling from the field, man. And I was getting a little upset in the huddle because coach wasn't even really drawing nothing up. He was just telling me to get the ball and go to work. And, you know, me, I try to be a team player. I want to get my teammates involved. I don't want to score 50 every game. Lamont hitting the weak midi jumper, bro. For a dude who was telling the whole city they about to blow us out, man, it ain't looking too hot, man. Hit him with the stutter step going straight to the cup. I hit that dunk, man, and then they started playing real dirty after that, bro. It got real physical. I don't know if that was intentional, bro, tripping me on the screen, but it basically felt intentional, man. They was talking trash the whole game, and then they do that. Poor sportsmanship, but hey, it's the east side, man. It's the trenches. What do you expect? But you know, this game damn near over with, bro. I'm gonna pass it to D-Rip. He get the post. Nail in the coffin, man. That's really Little did we know, Baller's life was at the game. They tweeted about us, and we were trending on Twitter all night. It was a lot of trash talking during the game, and Lamont hit me up afterwards. He said it was all love, and he wanted to link up the next day to catch up. But man, little did I know what I was in for. I pulled up and saw Lamont's cousin that was at the game. I thought it was all love, but I wasn't prepared for what was about to happen. It was all a setup. The family pressed charges against me, and I had a case on my hands, and everything I worked for was in jeopardy. It get grimy out here, man. Yo, what's good, y'all? I know we ain't talked in a minute, but I'ma get y'all hip on everything y'all missed out on. But first, y'all gotta do me a favor, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, and if you missed the last episode, check it out. But I also need y'all to watch until the very end of the episode. I got a big decision to make, and I need y'all help with it. So I know y'all remember what happened at the end of last episode. Well, the family pressed charges against me, but nothing really happened besides that news report. It was basically self-defense on my end, so I was good. But it happened at the same time we was buzzing, so my reputation took a hit. Now the school wanted me suspended from the team for hella games. Coach ain't really want to do it, but unfortunately it was out of his hands. So since I wasn't allowed to practice or be with the team, I just had to work out on my own. Man, I was spending hours running around the block just to make sure I was still in shape to hoop. It was really weighing heavy on me because I loved the game. I ain't want to spend no time away from it at all. But in my life, man, it always feel like I'm going through something. Word on the street is some members on the east side was looking for me. But I was staying out the way, so I wasn't really worried about them, to be honest. But man, look, if I wasn't working out, I'd just be sitting at home watching NBA games. I never thought about the league. I thought I was pretty good, but maybe I had a chance to get there. But man, let me tell y'all how much the team has changed since I've been gone. They weren't really winning for real, but our backup PG was doing his thing, averaging 12 and 5. And I heard he believed he was a better fit for starting PG. Now D, he was averaging the same double-double he was before I left. And then my best friend Mike took over as the lead scorer. Man, that boy was averaging 25 points per game. Really going crazy out there. I was walking home one night and my whole mindset changed. After I passed the store, I saw this billboard. This big billboard, and it had an NBA player on it. After I saw that, I couldn't help but think about the opportunity I had in front of me. Yeah, I came from nothing, but I could make it out of here. I couldn't do nothing but shake my head, man. All I had to do was stay out of trouble, and maybe I could reach that goal. I walked to the court just to get a feel for it, because I ain't played in so long. But pretty soon I was able to come back, and it got ugly. Now, I'm not gonna lie. At first it took me a while to get back in the groove of practice. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, for a little bit, I wasn't doing nothing but running. And the whole time I was out, I didn't really have access to a court because it wasn't one in my neighborhood, so I was really just doing stuff in the gym and running. But once I got the feel back, man, I was in there doing whatever I wanted, getting buckets on everybody. But it low-key felt like the team wasn't really happy to have me back. Usually when somebody come back to the team, you know, you feel welcomed. But when I came in there, man, it felt like I was in enemy territory. I didn't know what was going on, but I still came in there with the mentality to go at every single person, including Mike, who was my boy. And yeah, I even did this to Dwight. Well, I mean, we ain't gotta talk about that. Now here's where things kind of get tricky. When I came back, coach had me coming off the bench, and it was only for a couple minutes. But it's a specific game that I remember against the Tigers. He sat me into the third quarter with like a minute left. And I was so mad, man. I just came in there and immediately got to work. And I'm not gonna lie, this game, I think I had about 15 points in 4 minutes. If that doesn't say I need to be in the starting lineup, I don't know what does. I remember having a lot of mixed emotions that game. It felt like my team didn't want me there. It felt like my coach was turning on me too. It kind of felt like the whole world was turning on me. And all I was trying to do was defend myself. But I still wanted to go out there and play hard for my team. I had goals of making it to the NBA, and I didn't want to seem like a selfish, bad teammate. But that game, I was doing everything, man, in a short amount of time. Getting blocks, steals, scoring, and then next thing you know, I was right back on the bench. Man, when he sat me down for the second time, I was heavy in my thoughts. I was going through it, I ain't gonna lie to you. But I never really told anybody how I was feeling. I kind of just kept it to myself because this went on for the rest of the season. Every single game I was only playing a few minutes, and I never got back into the starting role until one game where our PG got hurt. In that game, man, right out the gate, I had a play that was going viral. I ended up dribbling down the court, asking for a ball screen, and then I got a poster. A mean one too. Man, I was seeing that thing everywhere. It was on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, really anywhere you can think of. But I remember how I was feeling that game. I knew it was the last game of the season and we didn't do enough to go far and get a state championship. But I was having fun out there, man. Finally getting back in the starting lineup, and it felt like the dog was kind of off of the leash. Like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. It felt like a relief. Man, I was out there doing stuff I hadn't done since the first 2 games when we had all that hype. Basketball was finally fun again. But this whole season, to me, was very challenging. Something I really wasn't expecting. I'm glad y'all made it this far though. If you were here in the beginning of the vid, I said I needed y'all help because I had a big decision. I ain't gonna lie. After everything that's happened this junior year, I'm thinking about leaving. But I don't know if I should transfer or just thug it out my senior year and see what happens. So let me know in the comments down below. And on the next episode of Underrated, man, we gonna find out together. I'll see y'all in the next one. Yo, what's the word, y'all? Hey, do any of y'all know how to change a tire? I think I'm on the flat. Never mind, but anyway, I seen y'all comments, and man, we was on the same page. I decided to transfer from Bluff and move in with my cousin Lonnie. Him and Auntie stay in a nice area. Lonnie was telling me about his team, and they was good. They just needed a solid PG, and he felt like I could play that role. Everybody on the team was like 6'9" too. Dang, I need some tools, man. Hey, let's walk to the store real quick, y'all. I need y'all to watch until the end though, so you all caught up. And if you missed the last episode, man, check it out. But hey, I gotta give y'all the rundown, so let's get into it. Man, when that day finally came that I was moving out the hood, man, I ain't know how to feel. I lived here all my life, and I knew it was gonna be a completely different experience when I moved out. But I mean, hey man, they say life all about risks, so I mean, why not take it? I feel like I had a decent opportunity in my hands, so why not take advantage of it? Cuzzo crib was like 45 minutes away, and that whole drive, man, I felt better the closer I got. Not a runner, but just wanted the fuck. This produced by C Good. I'ma show him what's up. Hey, family ties, me and him go way back. Back back when I was playing Call of Duty with my wave cap. We was riding in the whip and she just told me lay back. I was riding in that Honda, now I want that Maybach. Put that foreign up in sport, on that road I'ma take off. She almost missed her flight, had to crack before she take off. I'm in the booth, I'm with my amigos, RP take off. She knowing that I'm hot, so a shirt she gon' take off. I'm just different, I told you that I'm different. I started by myself, so I ain't tripping if you dissed. Don't get close to me, I'll poison you like Ivy, I'm a piston. My wordplay is too advanced for them, they don't get it. Ay, just a different breed, I'm a different breed. Rap game missing talent, I got what they need. It's just me and C. Now I ain't been to my cousin's house since we was little. And man, I do not remember the neighborhood being this big. Some of these houses was nice, man, I'm telling you. Whole different experience from the hood. I was really thankful Auntie let me stay with them. You know, it was really a blessing in disguise. And I knew from the moment I stepped out the car, man, it was just gonna be different this year. When I walked in their crib, man, I'm telling y'all, it was a whole different vibe. Some of y'all might be young, but you ever seen MTV Cribs? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I walked in this house. It had new updated furniture, and it had a nice view of the city too. I could get used to this. Man, I was in there exploring this mug like it was a jungle gym or museum or something. I was walking all around, up and down the steps. Man, I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Now, I ain't had no bedroom. You know, I had to rough it. It wasn't nothing I wasn't used to though. Auntie let me stay in the computer room and I just made a pallet on the floor and chilled there. Called it my little space. But hey, I was telling y'all, my cousin was telling me about his team. Not only was they all 6'9" and pretty decent, but man, they played some comp. But I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't nothing I wasn't ready for. It was really bittersweet, man. I picture myself finishing my high school career in the Bluff jersey. But hey, I worked on myself and I was ready for this new beginning. My new team was called the Red Raiders. And I told y'all we played some comp. But I ain't gonna lie, I was on go mode and locked in. Man, y'all should have seen how this first game went. Let's get into it, I'ma get y'all hip. What's that term they be saying? New year, new me? Yeah, well in this case, new team, same buckets. Don't matter, lay on his head. The first game of the season, man, I love the atmosphere, bro. It was completely different from Bluff. Hey! I started off the game with that crazy dunk, man, and it was just a whole lot of buckets after that. I'm gonna drive past him real quick and get that and one bucket. Y'all been here since the first episode, so you should already know what it is, bro. I ain't even gotta tell y'all. I just feel like I had extra motivation this season, man. Everybody gave up on me. Well, it felt like everybody gave up on me. Throwing that nice dime to the big man, my boy Wes. But yeah, man, it felt like everybody gave up on me and forgot about me. Y'all know what I was doing those first 2 games of the season. And I was trying to get right back to it. Straight back to it. And you know, Cuzzo, he was hooping too. It runs in the family. It's in the blood. Don't think it's just me. We both buckets. I'm gonna be honest with y'all too. It got real dark for this team. I got a mean chase down block. I was going crazy. And then right after that, man, I made this dude stumble something crazy. They had to foul me after that because they already knew what it was. I told y'all, man, extra motivation. I wasn't playing no games, bruh. You know me, I'm still doing that pick and roll action, throwing dimes to my new teammates. It felt genuine, man. It felt like I belonged here. And we was finna get, hey man, we was just finna get it going. Still doing this thing. Didn't I just tell y'all I run in the family? Can y'all hear me? Like, make sure y'all turn y'all volume up so y'all can hear me. Splitting that double team with the jam. Come on, man. By the time the third quarter hit, man, we was up like 20. And the lights was bright, so you know I had to show out. I don't know what it was about those big games, but man, it just brought out something in me. And y'all won't believe what happened next. I finally caught a live. Damn. It's been a long time coming, man. The OGs know I could not catch a lob at bluff. But I guess new school, new bounce. You already know what I get into.
Hey!
Menace to society. That's really all I gotta say to y'all, man. I was just on go mode this whole game, comboing up. They really couldn't guard me out here, man. I was just dunking everything that game. I don't know what got into me. Now, I ain't gonna lie, man. That first game, it was really a breeze. We wasn't worried about nothing with them boys. I was hooping, Cuzzo was hooping. The whole team was hooping, really. But man, I told y'all they play comp. In this next game, we really got tested, man. Now, when we first started off in this game, man, I was feeling good. I ended up getting the first 2 buckets for the team. The first one being a little spin move lay over 2 defenders. And then I came down the next play, trying to cook, got a screen, and then went straight to the cup with what should have been an and one. But man, after that, we went on a cold streak, bro. When I tell y'all, we could not hit nothing to save our life. We was missing dunks, lays, jump shots. A lot of it had to do with the refs though, man. I just think they wasn't calling the game fair on our side. But then again, we was missing some shots too. So it was the refs and us that was beating us. It's not like the team was way better than us, but we was just making mistakes. Eventually our cold streak ended. But bro, by the time it did, we was down hella points. I ain't gonna lie, this was embarrassing for a home opener. It was looking like the game was unwinnable. But y'all know me, bro. I wasn't gonna give up at all. I was trying to fight. I really didn't want to go out like that, man. We just had a good blowout game. And then we come in our crib and we getting blown out. Man, I was trying to cook, do whatever I can. They was fouling. They could really not guard me out there. I knew we was way better than this team. But when I'm at the line, y'all know it's 100% every time. Don't even look at the percentage at the bottom left corner, man. It's 100% every time. Y'all know how I do it. I'm a gym rat with the free throws. That's what I work on all day, all night. But man, we was still down big before the half, and I just wanted to get a bucket right before we went into halftime to try to give us a little bit of momentum. But man, it was looking like this game was unwinnable for the longest. We had to come in the second half with a different type of energy, with a different type of urgency. And that's exactly what we did. After this play, the whole game changed. I was trying to get my team involved, but the clock was running down and it was looking like I had to make a play. So I drove to the lane and...
Hey!
At this point, everybody was on their feet, and man, we had signs of life again. And the other team already knew what to do. As soon as they crossed half, they called a timeout. I feel like you got to after a play like that. But at the end of the day, we was still losing. So I had to keep it cool, calm, and collected. But man, once we got out the timeout, it was right back to work. Screen and roll action, straight to the cup. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know what I like to do. If you give me the chance to get in the pick and rolls, at that point, you might as well just pray. I wasn't focused on nothing but trying to get my team involved and win this game. And the other team, they just kept fouling me, man. They really couldn't guard. And when I'm at the line, it's 100% every time. Y'all know how I do this. Don't even look at the percentage because you know what it is. Well, you can look at that one. Man, the clock was really not on our side. I was just forced to call ISO and just make plays on my own. Mind you, this was only our second game together, so we did not have a lot of team chemistry. We was playing good in practice, and I knew Cuzzo, but I mean, we hadn't played with each other really that much at all. So most of the time, I was trying to call plays, but they wasn't working. So I just had to make a play. I honestly lost count of how many dunks I had this game. I wasn't even focused on that though. I was trying to get buckets in any way I could. Inside, mid-range, and out. I was really playing like a 3-level threat all game. Got the stop on defense, and y'all seen it earlier, so you know I had to get another. That's exactly what we needed, man. Another big play. We almost had a minute left to go in the game, and I went deep for the long pass, got another bucket. And man, they had to call timeout after that. I was so hyped. I was emoting, yelling at the crowd. Man, we had a chance. We had a legit chance to win this game. All we had to do was execute, man. And I was talking to my team in the huddle, and I told them the same thing. All we had to do was execute, bro. But man, we got another stop, and I'm coming down the court. I was looking for somebody to pass it to, but I said, forget it. I'm taking it all the way. And at that point, I had 40 points, and it was a 3-point game. But this last possession, man, a guy who hadn't shot the whole game hit the luckiest shot ever, bro. And after that, man, we lost. To be honest with y'all, I knew this one was going to stick with me for a minute. I mean, I had 40 points, but I was more focused on winning, especially because we was playing these teams that was really comp. We had to come in every game ready for war. But this wouldn't be the end of the story. I got a text from coach after the game. He said after those 2 performances, and I was getting interest from some schools. Now they wasn't D1, but I did have some D3 and D2 schools interested. And man, if y'all thought that game looked hard, we had to play the top 2 teams in the nation. They was both undefeated, and they both had NBA prospects. Oh, what y'all thought I was finna back down from a challenge? Man, tune in to episode 5, and we gonna see what happened. Maybe if I have a good showing, I can get an offer from a D1. But hey, I'll catch y'all in a little bit, man. And just like that, boys, we right back at it. I know y'all remember where we left off last time, so I'm gonna get straight into it. But if you haven't, make sure you go check out the previous episodes before and stay to the end of this one, because I got a big surprise for y'all. Now remember those 2 games I told y'all about? Yeah, one of them got canceled due to inclement weather. It's unfortunate. But hey man, I gotta tell y'all about the other game and what happened the day before that. I specifically remember the day before the game. I was just restless. I couldn't get no sleep. I didn't know what was going on for real. I thought I just wasn't feeling good or something. But then when I got out of bed, I ended up getting a text from one of my homies. And he said to go on YouTube and go to the Ball is Life page. Now in my head, I'm thinking, boy, it ain't no way, boy. When I tell y'all I sprinted out my room and went up the steps so fast, I had been balling out my senior season, but I ain't think I did enough to get a Ball is Life mixtape. I ran up to the TV, instantly went to YouTube, and there it was.
Tell me, is it something that I've done again? Say what?
I couldn't believe it. I had my own Baller's Life mixtape. I've been watching those since I was little, man. I was at the crib turned. Me and the guys went on to make a run for state, but sadly, we couldn't get the job done. I think we just didn't have enough team chemistry and experience at that time. We had only been together for a year, but it would have been a nice ending to the story if we could have walked away with a state title. But look, on the bright side of things, I ended up winning the 2024 Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year. I couldn't believe it. After everything I've been through and I got Player of the Year, this was a crazy accomplishment. And I also ended up getting an offer from 5 different schools: Stanford, Oregon, UCLA, Texas, and South Carolina. Now, I don't got the perfect Cinderella story, so I ain't get an offer to like Duke or something, but hey, I was glad to get a D1 offer in the first place. I was one step closer to making my NBA dream come true. It took me a while to make my decision, but hey, I think y'all boys gonna be happy with what I chose.
This type of shit I just walk on, man. I just let my mind talk. Let these lines talk. Hey man, it's the back street, man. Rest up, Nick, man. Rest up, Johnny, man.
I'm gonna be committing to the University of Stanford. Hey man, I like this move. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about it. But hey, we gonna try to go in here and put in work for the next year or two and see where it leads us. Man, I'll see y'all at move-in day. Let's go!
Yo, Corey, what's going on? It's Coach. Listen, we are more than happy to have you on this team. I can see us potentially winning a championship with you in our lineup. Swing by my office once you've settled in.
Dang, I still remember that first message from Coach like it was yesterday. I see y'all boys back for another episode. I'm glad you're here. But hey, I need you to do me a favor again. Make sure you stay to the end of the vid, cause once again, I need y'all help. But I just got done with my freshman year at Stanford, and it was, let's just say it was something. But I'm not gonna leave y'all hanging. We gonna get to it, and I'm gonna catch y'all up on everything. After my move-in day, I started training like a madman. Shit, I was getting up before the Roosters was, doing 5 a.m. runs on the track. All I had to do was prove myself in the Pac-12 and at the D1 level, and maybe I could accomplish my dream. Pretty soon it was time for that first practice, and I ain't gonna lie, them boys was hooping. It wasn't much different from my high school practices, but it was much more physicality, and your IQ had to be on point. During the season, we played a lot of comp, man. And I went against some household names like Rob Dillingham, DJ Wagner, Caleb Love, and even Bronny. And also, a lot of people from back home tried to come back around now that I'm D1.
I'm surprised you didn't answer, but congratulations. I know we broke up a year ago, and I kind of broke your car window through your Xbox in the pool and burned a pair of your shoes, but I think you should forgive me. Anyways, do you think you're gonna start? If so, let me know so I can brag to my friend. Also, we need to talk about baby names, cause I'm gonna let you when you make it to the league. You ain't never gonna lose me, you melon munching Popeyes chicken eating money borrowing food stamp using Section 8 living marijuana smoking grape soda drinking banana pudding loving fried chicken feasting GTA San Andreas playing baboon. Talk to you soon.
I gotta change my number, man. But anyway, the first game of the season was against LSU. And honestly, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. But the first play I checked in, I ended up putting the moves on a defender and hitting a fadeaway bucket. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know I was gonna make it, but I just trusted my work. And then I got a highlight dunk right after that. Now, Coach did have set plays for us to run, but after me going 2 for 2, when I just checked in the game, I said, bump all that, I'm finna just start going crazy. And then I got a post-up bucket right after that. It took me a while to get the feel of the game, but as it went on and on, I ain't gonna lie, I got more comfortable. And then I remember this one play, the whole game changed. I came down the court, went to the lane, and
Hey!
Just like that, I had the highlight play of the week. Man, they featured that mug on SC Top 10. I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, after that play, I think coach realized that I could really compete and hoop out here. I wasn't even supposed to be playing that many minutes because I was coming off the bench, but the more I went crazy out there, the more he left me in the game. And I just kept delivering on that promise to go out there and go crazy. I really surprised myself because LSU, they was a good team. They weren't like a top ranked team or anything, but they was still good.
Oh my God.
Man, I was out there doing absolutely everything that I wanted. I couldn't even believe I was going this crazy, especially in my first college game. At the end of the game, I ended up getting another highlight dunk. It was pretty crazy too, but not as crazy as the first one. And just like that, the game was over. My first college game in the books. I had no doubt in my mind that I turned a couple heads this game. I was just hyped we got the win though, more than anything. I ended up dropping 28, 7, and 4 with 2 steals. And I didn't miss a free throw. Next up, we had a Pac-12 matchup against UCLA. I came in about 4 minutes into the game, and I tried to pick up right where I left off. Just being aggressive, trying to get to the rim, get easy dunks. But some people don't understand college isn't all flash and highlights. So I also did my dirty work in the post too. I knew if I was going to have any chance of making it to the league, I had to work on all aspects of my game. One of those included shooting, especially a good amount. But to be honest, scoring wasn't the only reason coach brought me here. He said he liked how I played defense in high school too. And pretty soon I was getting steals at the collegiate level and somehow hitting crazy turnaround mid-range jumpers. After that midi, I felt like I was hot and I shot a crazy fadeaway. I'm not gonna lie, if I would have missed that, I probably would have had my ass on the bench. But luckily I didn't miss, so I figured why not shoot another one, and that one went in. Man, I was going crazy, I was hot, hitting every single shot. If this was Call of Duty, I have a VTOL warship as my score streak right now. I ain't play much the second half because coach ain't want me to get hurt, but that was that. We beat UCLA by a big margin. I ended up dropping 28 points and I shot 4 for 4 from the 3. I started off my college career with 2 great showings back to back. Man, who would have thought? Damn, I'm tripping, y'all. I knew I left out an important piece of information in the beginning. I hope she don't get mad at me when she see this, but I ain't even tell y'all about my girl. Kanani Knight. She was the starting point guard for the women's team. Man, when I tell y'all this girl could hoop, man, she can hoop. She wasn't the star player on the team. That would be Cameron Brink. She had like 100,000 followers on social media and all that. But Kanani, she wasn't far behind at all. We originally met when I was shooting around in the gym and she came to get some shots up too. We started hanging out and then we eventually hit it off. I started going to her games and I seen her give Texas like 40 points. For those of you who don't know how dating in college goes, let me just tell y'all, man, word get around hella fast.
Yo, Cash, what's going on? So I heard a rumor you're dating Kalani Knight on the women's team. I just wanted to call and say good job, young fella. You are him. A lot of guys want that girl, man, I'm trying to tell you. So be careful out here. Always remember it's a campus full of and thirsty ass. Try to stay focused on the main prize. Because it's a lot of people in disguise. I think for lunch I'll go get a burger with some extra fries. On Thanksgiving my mom made turkey. With some apple pies. Come on, man, these coaches can't do this rap like me, what the do you mean? But now back to what we were talking about. I'm serious, stay humble. And by the way, I got a wife, I don't use Tinder or Bumble. That was kind of hard, you can't even cap. I'll see you at practice tomorrow.
And now y'all see why I don't answer the phone. But anyway, fast forward in a little bit, we had a big game against Duke. Them boys was 9-0 and undefeated. And I started off the game rough. I could not throw the ball in the ocean, bruh. I couldn't get nothing to fall, and I got snatch blocked. Since my shot wasn't falling, I figured I had to find a different way to affect the game. And what I thought of was defense. I ended up getting a steal on the starting point guard, and I was wide open for a dunk. Hey! I don't know how y'all are when it comes to hooping, but with me, I just gotta see the ball go through the hoop at least once. And after that play, man, I got super turned. It was thousands of people in that arena, but I'm pretty sure everybody heard me shouting. And after that, my shooting percentage, none of that mattered. I had 2 dunks. I was already locked in. I guess you could say I was feeling myself a little bit because I started to do some flashy stuff. And I told y'all, college ain't all about flash, but hey, sometimes you gotta show it. I got a tough and 1 lay. Man, these boys couldn't really do nothing with me. Now me and they star freshman Jared McCain was going at it. I ain't gonna lie, Buddy was talking trash the whole game, and the only bucket he got on me was when I helped on the post and then he hit a 3. And after he hit that 3, the Duke bench was going crazy. I wanted to silence all that, so I came down the court, sized him up, and I got my bucket right back by any means necessary. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't been to the laundromat in a minute, but I still ended up putting him in a spin cycle and getting a poster. Way too easy, man. You see, this game wasn't just about me scoring though. I was trying to make the right play, setting screens for my teammates, just really trying to get the best shot we could. And pretty soon I had another highlight. Hey! I know what you're probably thinking. Bruh, how was you getting all these highlight plays and highlight dunks and not getting tired? I ain't gonna fake it, I was dog tired out there, bro. I was ready to fall out. But somehow, the ball just kept going in the hoop, so I had to keep performing. And somehow, they ended up fouling me, and coach decided I needed to come out the game when we was up 2. Luckily, we ended up winning, but I was kind of scratching my head after that one because I was still hot, and the game wasn't definitely won yet, so why take me out? I ended up dropping 23 and 6. I mean, your boy was doing his thing until the next game. It was a big matchup against Bronny and USC, but I ain't gonna lie, man. This game changed my whole freshman year. And it's crazy because this was my first game starting. Our starting PG got injured and coach finally thought I was ready. And in the beginning, I missed a shot and fouled the point guard out of frustration. And this man took me out the game for hellas. Man, I was heated. And when I got back in the game, I just wanted to go and score, but I couldn't get nothing to fall. But I mean, could you blame me? I mean, this man took me out after 1 shot and 1 foul. I never got a chance to get in the rhythm. I even had Bronny on skates, but I just couldn't finish the shot. And when my first shot finally dropped, this man took me out the game for a second time. For hellas. I ain't get back in until it was a few minutes left. Now this one I could understand because I was missing a little bit, but bruh, it's literally your fault. Something got into me after that. Man, I came in there and dunked on the center first play. To be honest, I was just mad because coach had me sitting all those minutes. And we was getting blown out by a team we could easily beat. The Trojans ain't even that good. I don't even use Trojans when I... Never mind, but you telling me we just handed Duke their first L and we come in here and get blown out? I did everything I could at the end to show coach, bruh, you should have kept me in the game the whole time. There was no reason I should have been on the bench at all. In the midst of all that emotion, man, I ended up picking up my final foul, and just like that, I was out the game. My first game starting, and we got beat worse than I did when I stole this ring pop from the store one time. It was unfortunate, man, because I was really hooping. But after that game, a lot of people had questions about me. People wondered how I could go from dropping 20-something points to barely performing in a key game. But we had another chance when we went up against Rob Dillingham and DJ Wagner and the Kentucky Wildcats. Right out the gate, I just tried to get going because last game, I couldn't. I was trying to be as aggressive as possible, but then tragedy set in when I tried to hit a mid-range and came down on my ankle wrong. Personally, I think DJ ain't give me no space to land, but I mean, it is what it is. The refs weren't gonna call it. At first, I thought it was something small, but as the game went on, man, it started hurting even more. Now, I know you're thinking I probably sat out the rest of the game, but our starting PG was hurt, so I was really all they had. And this was a game we really didn't need to lose, so I just had to suck it up and go out there and play on the bum ankle. It was bothering me the whole game. No matter what I did, I was still trying to be aggressive, but I just wasn't explosive as I was before I hurt my ankle. So eventually I had to start passing to my teammates and just hoping they knocked down every single shot. I'm not going to sit here and act like we didn't have other buckets on our team, but bruh, me scoring those 20 points a game, that really did help us. Okay, it wasn't 20, it was more like 16, but you know, us basketball players, we got to round our numbers up. By the time we got to the fourth quarter, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I was just ready for the game to be over. I mean, my ankle was literally burning, and somehow I hit 2 back-to-back clutch threes to put us in position to win. The last thing I can remember is me catching the ball in the corner, and I think I went up for a dunk. When I came down on that mug, man, it was hurting extremely bad. It was a tough loss, and I put all the blame on myself. A bad showing and an injury game, I just couldn't catch a break. But somehow that game, I still ended up dropping 29 points. I was on the sideline for a minute until our last game against Arizona in the Pac-12 conference match. I remember I didn't want to play this game, but I'm glad I did. I came out there and I wanted to prove I could still hoop, despite being out for like 8 games due to my ankle injury. And to be honest, I picked up right where I left off. Man, we was beating them boys like they stole something. And when I say we, I mean I. I even got this crazy poster dunk right before halftime. And to be honest, this game meant nothing. I mean, we weren't going to the March Madness tournament, and Arizona already had their ticket punched. So this was basically just a season-ending game with no meaning at all. But little did I know, this would actually end up being my best game of my career, college and high school. Now that Duke game was pretty good, and Arizona wasn't as highly ranked as them, but man, my efficiency this game was crazy. I was doing everything. And just like that, I had a dunk of the year candidate. After I hit that dunk, it seemed like it sucked the life out of the crowd. It was silent, you could hear a penny drop in there. And it didn't help that I stepped over that boy like I was AI or something. Man, that was so crazy. But it didn't stop there. I know that Arizona coach was pissed because I was basically doing whatever I wanted to out there. This is the only game I could say felt like a high school game because I was really doing whatever. I was even throwing it off the glass and dunking it. I think I just put it all on the line this game. I mean, my freshman year didn't go exactly how I wanted. Yeah, I was hooping, but I ended up doing bad in a big game, and then I got hurt, and that injury made me miss hella time. But hey man, we know my life ain't a walk in the park at all. Feel like I'm always going through something, and even when it seemed like I'm doing good, I'm gonna get hit with a trial. My buddy did some bogus stuff and tried to rip me at the end of the game when it was clearly over. We beat them boys by 10 and that was it. My freshman season was in the books. No March Madness at all either. However, I did get them boys 37 and 10. And I ain't even know it, but that was the first time somebody had got a 30-point double-double in Stanford history. And that dunk when I stood over buddy got 500,000 views on Twitter. And just like that, I was one of the most popular college basketball players that was still playing. Alright, so now I need y'all help. That last game against Arizona really gave me some buzz. I mean, they got me in a couple different mock drafts for next season. So do y'all think I should stay here another year or enter the transfer portal? I don't know, man. I got my girl here, and plus my coach was BSing, but maybe we could build something next year. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and on episode 7, we gonna find out together. I'll catch y'all in the next one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sports Talk. Today our topic is Corey Cash. The sophomore announced that he'll return to Stanford for his next season. The question is, will he have a breakout season though? Now, I personally believe Corey Cash has the potential to be a high draft pick this year. Last year, he averaged 12 points per game, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds while shooting 60% from the field.
Yeah, well, all those stats are mediocre. He played terrible against USC, and he took 20 shots against Kentucky. Corey Cash is just a high flyer. He's not a lottery pick material, and he should stay in college for all 4 years, and then maybe overseas will show some interest.
Well, he was hurt in the Kentucky game, so you can't really count that against him. In the last game against Arizona, though, this man had 37 and 10, which has never been done in Pac-12 history.
Listen, I mean, if you're a great dunker, these things kind of come easy, so, you know, whatever. But the kid has no shot of making it to the NBA. I mean, I can literally name 20 returning players who are way better than him.
What? Have you lost your damn mind?
Matter of fact, you're right. It's 30 players that are better than him.
Oh my goodness. I don't see why you're hating on the kid. He's a generational talent.
Here we go, generational talent. All this hype behind these new players. That's what's wrong with this generation. All of this hype going straight to their heads, thinking that they deserve it right from the jump. This kid doesn't have a lick of basketball soul in him. He got on the spot just 2 years ago and expecting the best, asking for transfer portals and whatnot. I can't believe this.
Listen, man, he's showing his talent. He's playing against the top teams in the country and putting up buckets against them. I don't see how you don't see it.
We've seen this before, but what we're not seeing is the repeating action of these hoodlums thinking they can take over the league. I'm sick of it. They don't have no respect for the game. This kid, he just got out of the hood and he thinks that he gets to choose where he wants to go. He's lucky to even have some time with Stanford.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think it just shows even more his character. He's trying to do something with himself. You know what I'm saying? It just shows his motivation and determination that he wants to be something, that he wants to do something. That's all I'm saying.
Well, if you want to do that, all I know is respect is earned. He hasn't earned nothing with me.
All right, well, I guess we're going to have to see in this next upcoming season, because I'm expecting a lot from him.
Good luck.
Oh, my goodness. All right, y'all. We're going to go to commercial break. We're going to get back to y'all later.
I don't want to see what you see in the kid. He's tripping. Oh, my goodness. He's not going to make it. I'm trying to tell you. Bet $50 right now. Shake my hand.
I bet 100. I bet 100.
Yo, what's good with y'all, man? Just the people I needed to see. Hey, look, I'm at this watch party right now, but hey, y'all done missed a lot, man. I gotta get y'all hip. My sophomore season was crazy. I can't tell you what this watch party for, but just stick around for a little bit and I could tell you about everything that happened this season. Make sure y'all have y'all popcorn or any snack ready because, hey man, this one finna be a good one. So as y'all can see, your boy finally got some VC and I upgraded the way my braids look and got me a nice little sleeve. And the first game of the season was a tough one against USC and Bronny, who was also coming back for his sophomore season. Now I know y'all done heard all the naysayers and doubters, but hey man, I was on a mission this season. Not to only prove I was good, to prove I could be a potential lottery pick and make it to the NBA. I started off the game going straight to work in the post. I remember what happened with this team last season when coach took me out immediately after getting like one foul and I barely played that whole game. Yeah, that get back up. Hey, yeah, y'all know what the song say. I ain't even gotta say it. And I started off the game on fire. I had the bench going crazy and I had the crowd going crazy after that lob. I wasn't kidding when I said I was really on a mission this season. Coming into this year, I also had a lot more freedom with my coach. I ain't gonna say I ain't have none freshman year, cause I was cooking freshman year. But this year, I really had the ability to do whatever I wanted. Come down the lane and do what I usually do. But I know what y'all probably thinking. Man, you probably tried to go out there and score 50 every game. But nah, that's not the case, man. There was only one thing on my mind the whole season. And it wasn't the NBA draft, it wasn't a lottery pick or nothing. It was win specifically. Win as many games as possible. And I was going to do whatever I had to do by any means necessary to make that happen. I trusted my teammates more, and half of the time, when I would give the ball up and trust them, the offense would flow a lot better. It wasn't just about me this year. Of course, I wanted to go crazy and see if I could become a number 1, number 2 pick. But man, I wanted dubs. As y'all boys can see, this game was nothing like the game against USC my freshman year. I mean, I was cooking. I was throwing dimes, getting lobs, getting really anything I wanted. My goal was to start this season off strong and show that first showing against USC, man, it was a fluke. But unfortunately, tragedy set in after I missed a shot and tried to get a steal. I ended up breaking my left wrist. Man, my wrist was hurting so bad I couldn't even continue. I just had to sit on the floor in pain until my teammates came and helped me off the ground. I had never felt no pain like that in my life. Well, maybe that one time when my dad went to go get some milk, but that's besides the point. After I went down, the whole crowd was silent. Everybody was scared for me. And just when I thought the game was going perfect, I had another trial to overcome. We ended up getting the dub, but y'all know how my life go, man. It seemed like it's always something trying to get in my way. Before I went down with the injury, I was able to put up 29, 5, and 7. I was out for a few weeks, but I ended up making it just in time for another big game against North Carolina with RJ Davis and Elliot Cadeau and Armando Bacot. Now, as you can see, your boy is rocking the hand tape on his left hand. I ain't gonna lie, I may or may not have came back a little bit early, but the trainers wasn't finna be able to tell me nothing, bruh. I had to show up for this game, and I wasn't finna let all that time I put in the off season go to waste. So I had Elliot Cadeau on me. Hey, I went straight to work. Hey, I had to let the crowd know he was too little too. Now at first, my hand was still a little bit sore, and I wasn't comfortable shooting yet, which is why I tried to get so many buckets in the post, because they was easy, and I was not trying to brick that muff. And coach was all for my plan of attack. He told me to just keep going at Cadeau and get to the cup if I could. But in the same breath, them boys was playing some good D on the wing. So coach drew up a play for me to get a lob, and you know I had to finish that play. In the very next possession, I came down the court, broke Elliot, and then dunked on two of their teammates' head. I know y'all done seen me put a lot of people on posters, but hey man, this one gotta be up there with one of the best in my career for sure. As the game went on, my plan was to keep attacking the paint. I had a goofy on me and I just did him something terrible. Over the summer, I also focused on my defense a lot, and it showed as I got the steal on Elliot and then tried to get it to my boy for the assist, but they ended up fouling. Fourth quarter came around and it was still close, so you know I had to start tapping into my bag. Like I said, my focus was winning this year, so when we got in these close game situations, I knew I had to deliver, especially after not delivering a couple times last year. But the past is the past, and we here now. They still can't guard me. I'm still sizing them up, and I'm hitting turnaround fades like MJ. With ease, by the way. It was something about the energy in the crowd that night. I think all of the Stanford fans was just happy to see me back in action. I mean, that injury was pretty nasty, and it was devastating considering the fact that it was the first game of the season. With a minute left in the game, I wasn't sure why coach still had me in, considering the last time that happened, I broke my left wrist. But hey man, you know when coach gonna leave me in, I'm gonna continue to try to get buckets. Elio was getting cooked all night. I felt bad. Don't get me wrong, I was happy with my performance this game, especially coming off an injury. But I knew in the back of my mind, man, we had a lot more work to do if we wanted to improve from last season. And that was that, man. We ended up getting the dub by like 20, and we was back on everybody's radar as a potential threat for March. I was back in the lineup, and I dropped 37, 4, and 4. I also had 2 steals and 4 blocks, which is actually insane. Now the next game we had was a Pac-12 matchup against Arizona. And I know y'all boys remember what happened to Arizona last time. So what you think I'm about to do this time? Now some people to this day still talk about that dunk I had against them my freshman year. And I can't blame them because, hey, that one was definitely one for the books. I told y'all I had been working on my defense all summer. So anytime you put the ball in front of me, I was trying to take that thing. Defense was one of the things I felt like I needed to improve on. Not a lot, just a little bit. On the next play, I ended up getting a steal, and then I came down and history repeated itself. Hey! Now, I don't think that one was as bad as the first one, at least. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Unfortunately for Arizona, it did not stop there. There was a play where I got a ball screen and caught him lacking again.
Damn! Oh
on 2 defenders this time. Coach had to call a timeout after that one. And then a little bit after that, this happened. This game was actually crazy though. With 3.5 left on the clock, man, this dude hit a full court shot that ended up cutting the lead to just 1 going into halftime. That shot was crazy though, I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, as the game went on, I was back doing work in the post. You see, coach started drawing up plays for me to actually score in the post. I wasn't even a post player, but I guess that part of my game improved a lot over the offseason. But like I told y'all, I felt like my most improvement was on the defensive side. I was starting to block dudes' shots and get steals with ease. Them boys couldn't really do nothing with me out there, especially since I was getting stops and turning them into points and assists. A lot of different teams started to face guard me, but I would just go get a lob easy off the back cut. I honestly didn't know what these coaches was telling these players when it came to defending me, but you had to watch out for every single thing, including the shot. I was really starting to develop into a two-way, three-level threat. And of course I was a playmaker too. Y'all see the handles ain't go nowhere. And just like that, man, we had beat Arizona at their crib for the second time. In dominating fashion, by the way. I know the student section probably hated me because I had another career high with 49, 10, 6, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. I was like the kryptonite for Arizona, I ain't gonna lie. Shortly after that game, we got tested against an undefeated Michigan team. I know what y'all probably thinking. How is Michigan undefeated? That I cannot tell you. And it was crazy because them boys had beat Duke and Kentucky. So coming into this game, I knew they wasn't nothing to play with. But like I told y'all, I've been trying to get steals. I ended up getting an early foul and coach put me straight on the bench. Now y'all know he be pissing me off when he do that. So when I came back in the game, y'all already know what time it was. The starting PG for Michigan was hella small compared to me. And for some reason, they didn't switch nobody else on me, so I took advantage of that all night long. I mean, if y'all thought I did that boy Elliott bad, this dude had it 10 times worse. Coming close to halftime, man, the game was close. I tried to do everything I could to get steals, assists, whatever we needed to do to win. I knew these boys was undefeated, but coming into the game, I felt like we could beat them. I really felt like we could beat anybody. I'm telling y'all, man, I had this point guard in jail. I had like 3 steals on this dude, and he could not stop me whatsoever. At this point, I really thought some of these coaches' game plan was to just let me get mines and try to tire me out. But little did they know, I was conditioning all summer too, so getting tired wasn't really an option. I know the point guard from Michigan probably lost his girl or something this game because he was getting embarrassed in front of our home crowd. I was taunting him. Man, I was doing everything. I was shooting that mug too. Now, normally, I don't be feeling myself during the game, but I can't lie to y'all. After I hit this Kobe fade, man, I thought nobody could stop me on that court and in the world too. That's one of them unreal shots you hit when you playing 2K or something. But man, I barely play that game, so I really wouldn't know about that. As the game went on to the 4th quarter, we started to stretch out further and further from this team, and it's looking like we was gonna secure the dub. And I can't really say it was just me. I mean, the whole team was hooping this game. I was doing mines, but them boys was helping out too. I was just trying to find them whenever I could. And just like that, we had sent the Michigan boys home with an L. They first loss of the season. And I was really starting to build my campaign for going to the draft. But unfortunately, we had Duke up on the schedule next. And I absolutely hate playing these boys because they are never not good. But we was still confident after just beating Michigan, and I seen I had a little PG on me. You already know I was going to take advantage of that. Now last time we played against Duke, I was shooting the ball a lot. So this time, I definitely wanted to get to the cup a lot more because I already know they probably playing for the shot. And whenever they cut me off when I tried to get to the basket, straight to the post work. You already know what it is. Now I don't think I've said this since I was in high school, but I was starting to feel unguardable. And this was at the collegiate level. I mean, I was really doing everything. I was playing defense, getting steals, blocks, getting to the rim as I usually do, while also shooting. Hold up. Corner 3. After the half, I seen they was dropping back a little bit, and I switched my point of attack to shooting. And it was actually working too. The whole game it was close, but I know them Duke boys was frustrated, especially when I'm hitting circus shots like this. Now with the game being tied up 73-73, I started to move off ball to try to score. The next play in transition, I ended up taking a risky step back 3, but luckily, I drained it. And that shot put us up by 5. And then right after that, I shut down the whole gym with this crazy 360 poster. Now they ended up cutting the lead back to 5, but I was like a shark in the water, man. I was still hunting. And that last dunk ended up being a dagger. And we ended up beating them Duke boys by 8. Now I had put up 44 points, and at that point, it was nothing more for scouts to see.
With the 19th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select.
And just like that, man, we made it. That watch party was to see when I would end up getting drafted. Y'all don't understand how happy I was, man. Y'all been with me since Bluff and seen all my trials and tribulations. But hey, man, this story called Underrated. We was only picked 19th, so of course, you know we got a lot more work to do. And the story, it definitely doesn't end here. Wow, man. Talk about overcoming trials and tribulations and it all paying off in the end. Shout out to Corey Cash. But since we on the topic of Corey Cash, the next most viewed video on this channel was his girlfriend. Kanani Knight was a star player who ended up going to the same school as Corey in Stanford, and she actually made a name for herself, going against players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Man, this girl could hoop. But, hey man, I ain't got no more to say. Kalani, let's go ahead and get straight into it.
Hey. Welcome to the Love and Basketball series. A lot of you guys requested this, so here it is. I know most of you know already, but my name is Kalani. But most people call me KK if you guys want to call me that instead. I'm not gonna lie. Corey doesn't know this yet, but I'm making him narrate this thing. It's way too much work for me. Plus I have a terrible accent and y'all are gonna be laughing at me trying to talk for 10 minutes. Anyway. I'll go get Corey. See you guys later.
Man, I swear if I didn't want some cheeks tonight, I would not be here right now. It's annoying, man. Alright, let's do it. What's good, ladies and gents? As you can see, I'm being forced to do this. I ain't even feel like it, but I'm trying to drop a triple-double in the bedroom tonight, so without further ado, let's take a look into Kalani's background. So Kalani grew up in a fat house in the suburbs. Now y'all know I come from struggling low-end housing. But Kalani was the complete opposite. Her neighborhood was filled with high-end housing. Man, some of them even looked like small mansions. Her dad was into real estate and her mom was a lawyer, so they definitely had bread. But both of them played collegiate basketball, so that made Kalani want to follow in their footsteps. Even though Kalani had money all her life, she was always humble. Man, that girl worked for everything she got. She was a 5-star recruit in high school and ended up committing to Stanford. She was able to get an NIL deal because of her social media following, and her parents were straight, so she bought herself an $80,000 supercar. She would always make students stop and look because of her car and her looks. But the thing I liked about her the most, she was hard to get. At first, she didn't even want to date anyone and focus on school and basketball. But we ended up meeting while I was shooting around in the gym, and from the moment I met her, I just had a gut feeling we could be something. I started off being cool with her, but man, we really hit it off. Next thing you know, we was hanging out almost every day. And she was always supporting me and watching all of my away games when we were traveling. She also texted me after every game just to make sure I was good. It's crazy to think she was a junior and I was a freshman. Hey, I guess my motion was elite. We was basically locked in until I committed to the draft my sophomore year. But don't get it twisted. I was hooping, but she was going crazy too. It was a lot of hype surrounding her name coming into our senior season, and man, I could see why. Her work ethic was crazy. One day I went with her just to watch, and she shot over 1,000 shots. And not only that, she made 60% of them, and she was shooting from NBA range. I'm not gonna lie, between me and y'all, she might be a better shooter than Lonnie. Y'all gonna see why in a minute. But eventually me and Kalani made it official. We would always work out together and study together. But when that was over, we would always go back to the crib and chill. And man, y'all know what that lead to. Well, we ain't gotta get into that. I'll be honest, Kalani was basically my twin. If you look at me and her on the court, it was almost identical. We were both top players in the nation and had similar stats. Now y'all already know my story and how I made it to the league, but this ain't about me. It's time to see how Kanani became one of the best to ever do it. So the first game of Kalani's senior season would be up against the University of Texas. And I specifically remember this game. She texted me before and she was hella nervous. She wanted to make a statement because all of the hype surrounding her name from her play last season. Man, I tried to tell that girl not to pay attention to the blogs and just focus on hooping. But she never listened to me. That girl read everything. Every blog, every tweet, basically everything that got her name in it. Now, I told y'all Lonnie could shoot, but she also got some mean handles. Yeah, it was about to get scary for these girls at Texas. But the crazy thing about Kalani, this girl knows she can score and drop 40 points a game, but she looks to get her teammates involved. I mean, some games she'll even shy away from scoring just to make sure she get enough assists. I don't know, me, I'm the complete opposite. Y'all know I try to go out there and get some buckets. I know y'all probably want me to shut up and stop talking about myself because I literally already got a movie out. But hey, bruh, chill, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's my girl, bruh. But another thing about Kalani, she never get rattled. As you can see, this game was close in the beginning, but she wasn't nervous at all. If it was a tie game, she was going to try to extend the lead herself. And she was going to let you know afterwards. Don't let the looks and the cute face fool you. Kalani talk more trash than I do. She probably gonna deny it, but that's definitely a fact. But anyway, this first game of the season was crazy because Texas was not giving up. I mean, this game was back and forth the whole time. It was like watching a boxing match. Punch for punch, blow for blow, and Kalani was scoring at every single level. In the post, mid-range, and from deep. But like I said in the beginning, Kalani was a playmaker first. In this game, she was making things happen with her ball handling ability. I mean, she always been good at using her hands. And as the second quarter came to a close, her team would have a small lead on Texas. But it would not last long as they would cut it down to a 1-point lead. Now, me personally, I was watching and I thought it was at this moment that she should have started to take over. But of course, Lonnie being her, she kept finding her open teammates and trying to get them going. But ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, whatever get the dub, get the dub. But on the next possession, she came down on a nice little pick and roll and got a left-hand layup. But unfortunately, the defense was not able to stretch out this lead, and it was still a close game. But Kalani ended up turning up on the defensive end and got a steal off the inbound and an easy layup. And that's definitely something that separated Kalani from a lot of players. I mean, aside from all of the talent she already had, she loved to play defense. Moving on to the fourth quarter, it was a 1-point lead and Kalani put her cape on. She had to turn into Superwoman. And in this situation, she was not passing the ball. She wanted to make sure they closed this game out. And on the next play, she got a little ISO on a PG, hit a nice spin move, and then hit a crazy step through lay through 2 defenders. I don't know what that celebration was, but I guess she was channeling her inner Michael Jordan. But I ain't gonna lie, that layup was crazy. I mean, watching that live, I couldn't believe it. She really stepped through 2 defenders that were way taller than her and still got the finish. Hey, she was crafty, man. I'm telling y'all, she too talented. And with a little over 40 seconds to go, their star 5, Cameron Brink, ended up closing out the game and slamming the ball on the floor and walking away in the timeout. Hey, that was kind of cold, I ain't gonna lie. But just like that, the Stanford girls would end up getting the dub. And Kalani played a major role in getting his first dub of the season. Now in this game, she ended up dropping 25 points while also grabbing 8 rebounds and 4 assists. And on top of that, she had 3 steals. I ain't gonna lie, that's not bad for your first showing. It's actually pretty great. But next up, Kalani had another tough challenge against some other stars in the women's game. Haley Van Lith, Flau'jae Johnson, and Angel Reese. She had to go against the undefeated LSU team. Hey, but she had no fear in her. She took it straight to Haley Van Lith off rip and got a nice little Euro step late. And on the next defensive possession, she ended up getting the steal on Angel Reese and pushing the ball in transition. She was trying to start this game off going crazy, I ain't gonna lie. Now Kalani's name, it wasn't up there with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese yet, but if she was able to knock off this team by herself, she would most definitely be able to make a name for herself. But on the next play, she ended up sending Haley Van Lith to the gulag and got the tough finish that should have been an and one. I'm telling y'all, this girl tough, man. But trust me, y'all gonna find out sooner or later. But on the next possession, they was pushing it in transition, and Haley Van Lith needed some help. And Kanani ended up knocking down another tray ball. I mean, I already knew she was good at knocking shit down, but she was going crazy. Now, I'm guessing she figured that Haley couldn't guard her, and she ended up going at her again. Hit another step back three in her grill. It was getting ugly fast. But this LSU team was undefeated, and they was national champs, so you already knew they was going to fight back. And with a couple seconds left to go, Kalani ended up kicking it to the corner, and her teammate hit the buzzer beater corner three. But as the second quarter went on, LSU was able to get the lead back to a 2-point lead. And now, Kalani and the girls had to do some work. But she was looking to attack the basket and facilitate like she normally do. And then it was a tie game again. I ain't gonna lie, watching this game at the crib was crazy. I mean, it was too much stuff going on. And with a couple seconds left to go in the second, the same girl hit a buzzer beater again. 2 buzzer beaters in 2 quarters is absolutely crazy. Next thing you know, it was another lead change, and Lonnie and them was up by 2. And on the next possession, she attacked the basket and found a wide open teammate for an easy mid-range jump shot. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, Kalani was going crazy with the celebrations. But all they had to do was keep stringing stops together and keep putting points on the board. And man, they could make this thing happen, as she got an easy bucket while running in transition. At this point in the game, Stanford was up by 3. And they Kalani figured it was time to attack some more. Called for the nice little pick and roll action and ended up getting another Euro step lay right over Angel Reese. Crazy. We all know she was known for blocking shots, but hey, Kalani said, not today. Called for another pick and roll, easy pump fake got the defense jumping, and then she got a nice dish to Cameron Brink. And just like that, Kalani and them will get the dub. Now the next game on the schedule will be a Pac-12 matchup against rival UCLA. And coming out the gate, Lonnie was attacking early. Got a nice little step back mid-range on a PG. And I'm not gonna fake it. She told me in that LSU game she performed well, but she thought she could do way better. So coming into this UCLA game, she was looking to take over, as she ended up getting a crazy acrobatic lay right over the defender. And on the next possession, she ended up missing a 3, pump faked and hit a crazy step back, and then she ended up getting it to drop. That step back was elite level. That was crazy. And as the first quarter went on, man, she kept attacking. But this time, it was in the post. I ain't gonna lie, that UCLA point guard was way too small for her. As she got the easy turnaround layup, it was getting scary. Now, normally, Kalani always got the ball in her hands. But the coach started to draw up some plays where she could come off a back screen and get an easy lay. And that's definitely something the defense wasn't expecting. They coach had to call a timeout and talk about some stuff after that. And toward the end of the second quarter, they still had the lead, but UCLA was definitely trying to fight back. And she drove to the paint and ended up finding somebody else for another corner 3. I'm not gonna lie though, Kalani was definitely being a pest from the West this game. I mean, she was pressing them 94 feet. And ultimately, she ended up drawing an 8-second violation on the team a few times. I know they was frustrated. In the second half of the game, she was looking to push the tempo in transition. And that's exactly what she did. Crossed up their point guard and got an easy finish at the cup. Straight to the bye high. But anyway, Kalani was starting to make a name for herself over these past 3 games. I mean, she took down Texas, took down LSU, who was undefeated, and now she was giving UCLA the business. I mean, she was going to have some work to do if she wanted to get her name up there with people like Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, and Kayell Clark. But after these first 3 showings, she definitely has the talent and the ability to do so. Now, one of the girls on UCLA hit a 3 and taunted. And afterwards, Kalani wasn't standing for that. Yeah, she got it back in blood, I ain't gonna lie. And just like I always forget to do when me and Kalani Netflix and chilling, man, it's time to wrap this thing up. And she got a layup over the defender, and just like that, Stanford was gonna get the conference dub over UCLA. Now, it wasn't a blowout win, but they was definitely in control the whole game. And you could tell by the way Kalani was dominating. Now in this game, Kanani had dropped 25, 7, and 5. She went crazy. But hey, this was only the beginning of how she began to take over the women's game. As the season went on, the Stanford's women's team kept getting better and better. Everything was clicking. Kalani was playing at an elite level, and her teammates was falling right in place. Hey, they was looking pretty dominant, I ain't gonna lie to you. And next up, they had the toughest test of them all. They had a matchup against the undefeated national championship team, South Carolina, with their 6'7" center, Cardozo. So coming into this game, Kalani was definitely nervous. She was texting me all night the night before. And I mean, why wouldn't you be? This is South Carolina. Probably, not even probably, it's the best team in women's basketball and they undefeated. But hey, Kalani was coming to show them, I don't care if y'all undefeated. I'm the best player in women's basketball. And she came out the gate early, guns blazing, hitting a tray ball. Now, South Carolina was missing a few different key pieces this game, but they still had their star center, Cardozo. And she was looking to get on the board early too. But, hey, it was a tie game. Ain't no runaway leads yet. And on the next offensive possession, they ended up missing a shot, but Cameron Brent got the board and put 2 points up. And they was looking good in the beginning of this game, man. Next possession, Kalani got an easy steal. She was pushing in transition, and you know she liked to find her teammates as she made a crazy pass to the power forward for an easy bucket. I'm not gonna lie, we could talk about Kalani's scoring ability all day, but hey, that girl could pass. I don't even know how she was able to get that pass through there. It was something crazy. I'm not gonna lie, she was definitely capable of dropping a double-double every night. I mean, hey, you know she got them double D's. But anyway, next defensive possession, hey, Cardozo got right back on the board. Y'all gotta remember, this is a national championship team. They is not gonna lay down that easy. Hey, Kalani don't either. Normally we gotta Netflix and chill first. But she was driving to the cup and got the nice dish to the center. And now they was up by 4. In this game, she was also doing a great job of showcasing that she could score on all 3 levels. I mean, you had tray balls, mid-ranges, and post-up work as well. I mean, she could do it all. And I literally mean do it all. Hey, man, did y'all know Kalani was a thief? She hit old girl with the up, you dropped something, and then she ended up pulling the transition 3. It was finna be good night Irene in a minute. So toward the end of the first quarter, Stanford had a 9-point lead on South Carolina, and Kalani was not looking to let up as she got the bucket with 6 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Now, one thing this Stanford team is good at doing is defending and jumping out to an early lead because of turnovers. And I ain't gonna lie, they ain't think it was gonna be possible against a team like this, but the way it's going in this first quarter, it might get ugly quick. I was at home watching hype though. They could really pull this off. But hey, Cardozo said, hey, I don't know about all that. And she was looking to get the ball in the post on their next possession. And I ain't gonna lie, she was going to work. And don't nobody really stop her, so hey, if they let her get going, it was gonna be a long night. And I think in that moment, Kalani said, okay, they starting to go to work, so I need to go to work. Hey, she had no fear and got to lay over 2 people. I'm telling y'all, man, she tough. And I'm not gonna lie, the Stanford defense was forcing South Carolina into some bad shots, but hey, Cardozo would just come in, straight cleanup crew on aisle 7. Hey, remember I told y'all Kalani was like my twin on the court? I'm telling you, she got the board, and then she was pushing in transition, got the easy lay. Looking like my Stanford days. But it ain't stopped there. On the very next possession, she ended up getting the ball again in transition, pushing it. They just couldn't stop her. She was way too fast and got another easy layup. And just like that, hey, this lead was starting to get dangerous. Now, Kalani be playing that Call of Duty mobile a lot, so you know she got that chopper gunner in her. Hit another tray ball. This whole game, Kalani was showing no fear and put the team on her back. And hey, if she wanted her name up there with people like Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark, hey, she was going to have to do that on a consistent level though. But hey, consistent or not, if you giving South Carolina buckets, I mean, that should say enough right there. Not many people doing that. Like I told y'all, national champion and undefeated, hey, that's tough. As she pulls up with the witty mitty bucket. And hey, on that next possession, I don't know what the coach was on. Y'all gotta remember Kalani a shooter. plus the 4th of July coming up. Yeah, it was a whole lot of bombs going off. Now, I know y'all just as shocked as I was watching this, because they was finna be up 30, and Kalani ain't let up. Hey, she told Cardozo, you better treat this like a staircase and step up, as she pushed the ball in transition and then got another easy layup. That was a crazy little Euro for her. The crowd was going nuts, and hey man, Kalani was looking unstoppable this game. She did this against the best team in women's basketball. If Stanford kept this up, hey, they was going to be in that Elite 8, Final 4, and maybe even a natty. And just like that, they had did the unthinkable. They had dropped off the undefeated South Carolina, the national champions. Now, the whole team played extremely great. But as for Kalani, man, she almost gave them 40. She was 1 point away from it. And she shot efficient. But now, it was time for the marquee matchup. Kalani would be matching up against the one and only Paige Bueckers. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people consider her to be the best player in the world, including her coach. Now, if you don't know who Paige Bueckers is, you must be sleeping under a rock. I believe she is arguably the best player in women's basketball. Hey, she was tough. So coming into this game, Kalani had to be on point. Paige wasn't coming to play with nobody. Now, they got the dub over South Carolina, but that doesn't mean this game was going to be that easy. I mean, hey, UConn got a Hall of Fame coach, and they got Paige. Arguably the best player in all of women's basketball today. The girl who went toe-to-toe with Kayell Clark, and who may be the all-around better player. But hey, Kalani was starting off early, getting her team involved. And if she wanted to make it to the top, she had to go through matchups like this. I ain't gonna lie, I was at the crib hype. Hey, but y'all don't want to know what I did to UConn. Maybe I'll tell y'all about that later. But anyway, I feel like both of them canceled each other out. I mean, they both could do it all. But of course I'm gonna edge Kalani because that's my girl, you feel me? But she can rebound, so can Paige. She can pass, so can Paige. She can get to the cup and score at will from all 3 levels. Hey, Paige can do that too. So this game, she needed to show her that it was levels. And early on, she looked to do just that, getting that crazy Euro finish. On the next play, Kalani was just like Wiz Khalifa, because she wanted nothing but smoke. Went straight at Paige and hit a tough move to get the layup finish right over her. But I know y'all ain't think Paige was just finna sit here and do nothing. Man, she called ISO right back, got a screen, and hit that patented mid-range she known for. Hey, this was looking like it was finna be a game. Right after that, hey, KK got caught slipping on defense, and Paige hit a 3. She was starting to heat up. Hey, I don't know what she thought this was, but hey, you gotta guard at all times. That's Paige Bueckers. It do make sense she was falling asleep on defense, though. I mean, that's what she always do. Maybe that's because of the work I put in. But when she on offense, hey, you better not fall asleep. Yeah, I know she a shooter, man. Hey, and I know it's my cousin, but hey, she might be a better shooter than Lonnie. I'm trying to tell y'all, KK got it, but so do Paige. Like I said, you gotta step up. As the game went on, this was living up to everything it was supposed to. Both of these girls were showcasing their skills at the highest level. Both of them were putting up buckets, and both of them put the team on their back. Now, it just came down to who wanted it more. And Kalani really wanted this ISO on Paige and got a tough finish. I'm not gonna lie, Paige played some excellent defense on that play. Hey, but like I said, it's about who wanted more. Kalani may have got off with a little push off, but hey, the ref ain't see it, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But UConn would end up responding back on their next offensive possession. Got the nice little screen action for a pull-up 3, and they was trying to cut this lead down. Hey, the game was still close, I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't like the South Carolina game, but that don't mean Kalani wasn't finna be aggressive. She called for a screen, rejected it, and ended up getting an one bucket right over Paige too. Hey, she came to play. Both girls did. Now y'all know this ain't my series, so I really ain't supposed to be saying it, but y'all know it's 100% from the line every time. And hey, they cut the lead down to 4, but Kalani was looking to get her teammates involved, doing a great job of showcasing her ball control skills before, during, and after the game. as she got another dime. Boom! Hey man, she was finding everybody on the floor. She was doing a good job of getting to the cup and just dishing it. And I mean, that's what she had to do. Everybody know you can't beat a team by yourself. I don't care if you drop 60 points. You still got to get your team involved eventually. But like I said, UConn is a historic college, and they got a Hall of Fame coach. So the game was close. And with the 2-point lead, Kanani drove to the cup and got the easy layup to extend it to 4. Right after that, Stanford ended up getting a stop. Kanani was pushing it in transition. And oh my God, she made that girl do a 360. That move was crazy. Hit a nice little stutter step. And man, she had her playing Twister. I don't know what she was looking at in the crowd, but hey, whatever that dance move is, it's finna be trending on TikTok after this. I knew at that moment they probably want to have Paige follow her all around on defense because, hey, it was getting rough for her teammates. Midway through the third, Stanford had a 6-point lead and Kanani was getting a little gassed. But hey, that don't affect her passing at all. She was still finding her open teammates, making the right plays, and just getting easy buckets to extend the lead. And her teammates came to show up as well, as Cameron Brink hit a mean post move, basically pushing that girl all the way out the way. I didn't even know she could do that. But hey, she said she too little. And then Kalani was pushing the transition, hit him with a step back. Boom! You have to step up. I told you about the staircase, bruh. Stanford was able to increase the lead to 11 and Kalani did not let up. Made another good pass and her teammate hit the tray ball. They were starting to run away with it. And there was still a lot of time left to go in the game, so UConn still had a chance. But it was up to Kalani and them to finish the job. Keep their foot on their neck. And that's exactly what they did. Hey, her teammates was acting different. You seen how Cameron Brink was running the floor in transition after Kalani had made a great pass? Hey, she took that thing from coast to coast all the way to the cup. Great finish by a great player. And as the game went on, UConn was still fighting. The lead was only 13. But hey, y'all know Kalani wasn't letting that slide as she pulled up and got another tray ball, heavily contested too, man. She is a shooter. I'm just glad I got to witness this firsthand. I mean, I told y'all me and her would work out for hours. We'd be in the gym just working on the little stuff. And honestly, it helped both of us become better players. I mean, she was already cold before she met me, don't get me wrong. But hey, them late night gym sessions, it just helped her get even better. And now she playing at this level. With 3 minutes left to go in the fourth, all Stanford needed was a few more stops and a few more buckets to officially make this thing over with. And that's exactly what they looked to do. They was almost up 20. But as you know, UConn was going to fight until the clock hit 0. Hey, they had a bunch of grit and a bunch of toughness. And Stanford, they got to remember that before they mess around and make a comeback in these last 2 minutes. But hey, they had to draw something up in the timeout, fix some schemes, fix some situations. And Paige said, forget all that, I'm trying to win. Pulled up and hit a tough, contested transition 3. But it wouldn't be enough. And Stanford ended up getting the dub. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a classic matchup between two stars, Kalani and Paige. They fist bumped each other after the game for some mutual respect. And man, the stats said it all. Kalani had 34 and 10 while shooting efficiently. And Paige, I ain't gonna lie, she was hooping too. She had 31. So combined, both girls had like 65 points. This matchup definitely lived up to the hype, not gonna lie. So the next game for Stanford would be against North Carolina. They're facing a different Carolina this time, but I don't know what y'all thought. Kalani on the same type of timing. Boom! Coming out, guns blazing, hit a 3 off rip. Now North Carolina's best player was Deja Kelly. Hey, I mean, it wasn't no Caitlin Clark or Paige Beckers, but hey, she could hoop. She was up there with the top names and she had some popularity too. And Kalani was looking to show out this game. Made crazy passes just like that one to find her open teammate for the corner 3. Shout out Peter Griff. And y'all saw she had 10 assists against South Carolina. In this game, she was looking to do the same thing. I mean, this girl was a crazy passer. If you ask me, I don't know if she was a better scorer or facilitator. Y'all let me know in the comments down below, but I can't decide, man. I'm not gonna lie. And I know y'all didn't think it was over with that one. She came down, asked for the screen, got the easy dump off for another layup. She had 3 assists back to back to back. I'm telling y'all, the passing ability is crazy. Call her KK Stockton, or maybe KK Laundromat, as she put the defender in a spin cycle and got the tough finish. Man, I'm telling y'all, she just different. Look at that spin move, man. Hey, I taught her everything she know. But y'all know when I do that, it's followed by a dunk. She ain't got the bounce like that. She do got that recoil bounce though. I ain't gonna fake it. But anyway, with a 10-point lead, they was still attacking. And Kanani was still finding her teammates. She was on fire with the assists, I'm not gonna lie. But this next play was crazy. She got the board, and you already know how we do it over here. We pushing in transition, and she hit a tough acrobatic lay right over the defender. And I was watching live at home, I'm like, I ain't never seen her do nothing like that. That's different. But then again, I had to remember, that girl always got some tricks up her sleeve. She was always doing the unexpected, something crazy. She was almost like a wizard. No pun intended though. With 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter, Kanani was still on fire. She looked to find her teammate, but ended up cutting to get open. Boom! But right after the 3, Deja Kelly went down with a shoulder injury. I'm not gonna lie, that was completely unexpected. You never want to see anybody get hurt. Hopefully she can make a speedy recovery and get back to it. But hey, that didn't mean Kanani and them was finna let up. She was like a taxi driver because she had a whole lot of dimes. Hey, it was about to get ugly. Stanford was finna be up almost 20. UNC ended up getting a bucket, but hey, Kanani had to get one right back, and she found Cameron Brink for the wide open layup. She was just making it look too easy out there, man. Speaking of easy, she drove and ended up getting an one bucket. I'm telling y'all, she dangerous. 1 minute she passing, and then the next minute she ISOing you and getting straight to the cup, or she could even ISO you and get a tray ball. I don't know how she ended up hitting that crazy layup. Hey, she just had some strong grip, I guess. But on the next play, she ISO'd, got another tough bucket. A lot of them defenders on UNC, they was just too little for her, I'm not gonna lie. She just put them in the spin cycle. I guess that was becoming her patented move. A little turnaround midi jumper. It was cash almost every time. You gotta guard it. But hey, this game was looking like me when I Netflix and chill with Kalani. It was a whole lot of finishes. Cause on the next possession, she called ISO, went straight to the cup, and got the tough bucket. I'm not gonna lie. I could see from watching at home, she was putting in that work in the gym. Cause that lay package was getting crazy. It was at that moment I knew, hey, she had a chance to go to the draft. And not only go, I think she could be the #1 pick. She had the option to come back for a 5th year and get some more of that NIL money, but I ain't gonna lie. The way she playing right now, I don't see nobody better than her. And just like that, Stanford would get the dub over North Carolina. And Kalani had herself a game, I am not gonna lie. She ended up dropping 31 and 12 with 9 rebounds, almost a triple-double. Pretty soon she was gonna have to see Caitlin Clark. Now all of you know who Caitlin Clark is. The NCAA's all-time leading scorer, straight bucket. Possibly the best shooter the women's game has ever seen. And now, Kalani got a matchup with this juggernaut. Coming into this game, it had the same amount of hype as the UConn game did. We got probably the best scorer ever at the collegiate level versus Kalani Knight, a rising star. Well, I don't know about rising star. I mean, if you ask me, I think she a star already. And I think she the best player in the game right now. But hey, it's just my opinion. I don't know what y'all think. That's what I think. Now, coming into this game, Kalani was telling me she didn't have no nerves at all. She was probably more nervous for the UConn game, but after she already got that under her belt, this was nothing. She was used to big moments now. And she knew she had to take down some of the top stars to become the top star. So hey, let's get it. Now, Caitlin started off hitting a nice jump shot, but now it was Kalani's turn. Boom! Hey man, and I ain't gonna lie, I was watching this game from the crib. Hey, I'ma just tell y'all it got real wicked. Don't get me wrong, Caitlyn was doing her thing, but Kalani definitely came to play. But hey, she gotta play some defense too. You see Caitlyn complaining like she usually do. So Kalani said, bump all that. I'm finna come down here and go right back at you. Snatch back. Hey, let me get 3 of them things, you feel me? I'm telling y'all, it got ugly this game from the 3. I mean, Caitlyn got a shot, but so do Kalani. She was mean with it too. After she hit it, she even stared her down. I told y'all this girl be taunt more than me. But hey, y'all ain't want to listen. I'm trying to tell y'all. But anyway, as the game went on, Caitlin Clark was being Caitlin Clark, running around a bunch of screens, handling the ball, and pulling up from 3. But it seemed like every time she got a bucket, Kalani made it her mission to go at her on the next possession. And that's exactly what she did. Now, it didn't matter if she was scoring points or getting the assist. Either way, she was responsible for her team putting points on the board. Midway through the first, they had about a 3-point lead. And Kalani was looking to stretch it out. Reminds me of college. But anyway, she got another easy dime that boosted the lead to 5. But hey, it's still a long game. Iowa called timeout to draw some stuff up. And I ain't gonna lie, Caitlyn was pulling this whole game. I don't know how many shots she took, but it was a lot. But hey, you know what they say. Shooters gonna shoot. And you best believe Kalani was a shooter right with her. With a 17-10 lead, Kalani was pushing the ball in transition and easily blew right by Gabby Marshall. Hey, she was too little, bruh. Hey, Kalani be falling a lot. I don't know if she be flopping or her knees just be weak. No pun intended. But regardless of if she was feeling weak or not, hey, she was showing Iowa they was too weak. Man, she was doing dirty work in the post, cooking up from the 3, and dishing to open teammates. And Caitlyn on the other end, she was doing what she usually do. I ain't gonna lie, Kalani had to work a little harder to play defense on her. Even though she was running all over the court, hey, you gotta find that toughness. But on the other end, she was trying to show, hey, you not the only shooter on the court. And at this point, she had like 4 threes already. It wasn't even halftime yet. And just when I thought she was done shooting them, come on, man. Hey, y'all gotta step up. That girl was acting up. She was hitting celebrations and all that. But when I seen that, I ain't gonna lie, that's when I knew, hey, Iowa might be in trouble tonight. Kalani was just looking to take over the whole game. The score was 31-19 midway through the second. It was getting ugly. And Kalani had ended up hitting her like 6th or 7th 3 of the game. I was like, oh my goodness, y'all cannot stop this girl. And then right after that, she went right at Caitlin Clark. I'm telling y'all, I know this girl, man. Been dating her for a little minute. Once she get that look in her eye, yeah, y'all better pray. Yeah, Caitlin Clark, I know she like that. Just look at her face. Like a Violet Myers scene, this game was looking like a blowout. Not gonna lie. But, hey, Caitlin Clark was still doing her thing. I mean, this game was only entertaining because of her and Kalani. And on the next possession, she ended up driving and getting an 1 bucket. I know y'all been here for a while, so you already know. It's 100% from the line, even if it's not me. If it's my girl, it's 100% from the line too, you feel me? And then on this play, she ended up getting a nice dish. Look at that bounce pass, getting a nice dish to her teammate to extend the lead off another easy layup. Yeah, it was about time to wrap this up for Iowa, but hey, Kalani wasn't done giving buckets, and neither was Caitlin Clark. I'm telling y'all, man, she was running around a bunch of screens. I didn't even know how much she had at this point, but I knew she was hooping. And like I said, Kalani would go right back at her. And if it wasn't a tray ball, hey man, she was gonna do her dirty work in the post. But y'all already know that though. And y'all know who she got that from. Don't act like y'all brand new. Y'all knew I was working on that my sophomore year. But hey, she just kept killing. Euro steps, step back threes, post work. I mean, it really wasn't much Iowa could do. And then late in the third, Kalani was done for the day. I mean, there was no point in her playing the rest of this game, even though she could have scored a lot of more points. But the game somewhat did live up to the hype as Caitlin Clark dropped 37 points. Crazy. And your girl Lonnie, she did her thing. She had 33 points. It was a nice matchup all around. Game could have been closer, but Kalani was looking to dominate. Now next up, Kalani had to go up against USC and Juju Watkins. And I'm not gonna lie, this game definitely tested Kalani, because USC all around, hey, they had arguably the best team in the game. But hey, Stanford and Kalani, they weren't backing down from nobody. And at this point, she was hot. She was playing like the best player in the world. So I mean, why not step up to the challenge and go mano-a-mano with the best team, arguably. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, USC already knew what Kalani was about. They wasn't finna give her nothing easy. She was gonna have to work for everything she got. But if y'all been here up to this point, y'all know Kalani. That's all she do. She work for everything she got. And if you don't play tough defense, hey, she gonna make you pay for it, no matter where she at on the floor. But anyway, y'all know my history with USC. Had that bad game my freshman year. Hey, but we got GBG though. So coming into this game, I was definitely hoping Lonnie gave them like 50. No, it's not a rivalry against USC, but hey, I just don't want to remember that freshman game, bruh. Part of it was my coach too. As you see Kalani getting the tough bucket, and she came to hoop, but at the same time, so did USC. A lot of their players was making some tough shots, and then Kalani started to struggle a little bit in the second quarter, threw a turnover, and then at the same time, got scored on at the other end. I ain't gonna lie though, part of this was because Kalani was playing like 38 minutes a game. She was gassed, I ain't gonna lie to you. But somehow when she got back on offense, she got all her energy back. Now I don't know if that's just because she decided to take offense more seriously and don't be focused on defense, or she was actually tired. But I don't know. She be telling me she was actually tired, but I don't believe it, as you see her getting the bucket right over Juju. And surprisingly, Juju was very quiet this game, and Kalani teammates was stepping up. Hey, this was one of them games where I think they was just focused on winning. So whoever was getting off was getting off. And by the time halftime was coming up, man, they was almost up dub on Kalani and them. And Kalani was trying to fight and put points on the board, keep the team in it. And I ain't gonna lie, this was the first time we had seen Stanford in this position in a long time. But everybody just looked demoralized. I don't know why, but this is when Kalani's leadership was gonna come into play. She literally would have to will her team back into this game. And she had to get her teammates going. It wasn't all about her dropping 50 points. She had to get her teammates going with some assists as well. And that's exactly what she tried to do. When the shot was open, best believe she'd take it. But if she saw the open teammate, she was definitely gonna dish that thing. And midway through the third, boom! She hit a tough three over two defenders. And they was trying to cut this lead. And it's looking like they was actually gonna pull it off. But I ain't gonna lie, USC, they was hitting some tough shots too. Some of them definitely looked lucky, but hey, when they go in, you just gotta accept it and keep going. Boom! And Kalani came right back on the other end with a three of her own. I give her credit, bro, because when we played USC that first time, I was ready to leave. I was not trying to erase that big deficit. I'm glad she ain't had my mindset, and she had that chopper gonna score streak. Boom! Going crazy from the three. They was able to cut the lead to 14, but hey, it was still a whole lot of time left. And USC was still hitting some crazy shots. They had to call timeout and draw some stuff up. But hey, it was looking like it just wasn't going to be Stanford's night tonight. It seemed like every time they would start a run, it would end. And then USC was not missing nothing. They just kept on pushing and pushing. Toward the end of the third quarter, Kalani got a full court dime. That thing was crazy. She threw that mug from one end to the other. And at the beginning of the fourth, boom! She cut the lead down some more with a tray ball. And now they was only up 11. Stanford was fighting their way back into this game, but it wasn't a whole lot of time left on the clock. And Kanani, she kept attacking. Y'all know how she do it, finding ways to score any way possible. But at USC was like, you gotta beat us on your own. They started locking up her teammates, so she was forced to play ISO ball. And when you down in the game like that, you can't win like that, man. You gonna need your teammates. And like I said, USC just kept hitting tough shots. It's like they would not go away, man. But neither was Stanford, though. They was putting up a fight. They was able to cut the lead to 9. It was looking like they was gonna be able to pull it off. As Kalani drove to the cup, what that boy Shaq be saying? Barbecue chicken alert. She got straight back in the post. Hey, she was going to work down there and ended up falling again. I told y'all she be flopping sometimes. I don't know, but hey, with 3 minutes left to go in the fourth, she got a wide open layup and they cut the lead down even more. It was getting closer and closer, but time was running out. And hey, USC, they was running in transition, found Juju wide open for the layup to extend the lead right back to 11. And as time went on, Kalani knew, hey, we had to put points on the board. Drove, got a nice little dish to Cameron Brink to cut the lead back down again. I'm telling y'all, this was like back and forth in the fourth quarter. But at USC, they just kept hitting everything. It didn't matter what Kalani and Stanford did. And unfortunately, they wouldn't be able to get the dub. But this won't be the last time they see each other. So at this point in time, it was time for March Madness. And Kalani and Stanford, they was chasing that national championship. And I believe they was going to do it. And just like that, it was time for March Madness. Now Kalani and Stanford, they was the number 3 seed. So they had high expectations, but nobody believed they was going to win the whole thing. So coming into March Madness, hey, they wanted to show all the doubters that they should have been the number 1 seed and that they was going to beat the odds and win this whole thing. And starting off, Louisville had an early lead, but like I said earlier, barbecue chicken alert. When Kalani get down in the post, it's like me when she do her yoga positions. I do not stand a chance. I am not going to lie to y'all. But Kalani ended up getting the steal on the next possession and pulled right up for the mid-range jump shot. And the early lead that Louisville had, hey, it was gone. They tied this thing back up. And I ain't gonna lie, they was looking to run away with it as Kalani got the nice assist to her teammate. 10-10, quarter winding down, Kalani get a tough Euro lay right over the defenders. Hey, she was warming up. Pretty soon it's gonna be hot in here. No Nelly. I'm not gonna lie though, Louisville definitely came to play. I mean, y'all gotta remember, it's March Madness. It's when to go home. So everybody, they finna put everything on the line. They ain't care about how good Kalani was hooping. They ain't care about no ranks or nothing. They was trying to come in here and beat the brakes off them girls. I ain't gonna lie. They was hitting a lot of shots too. They got Jada Curry, and she tough. And they ended up getting this game back close after Kalani and them had built a slight lead. Next thing you know, it was 37-37 in the third quarter. But hey, Kalani was looking to go crazy. She had a patented step back mid-range jump shot right over 2 defenders. I was watching at home like, man, this girl is crazy. She pulling over 2 defenders like she a vet. Well, technically she is a vet. But when I say vet, I mean me. Y'all know that's something I would do. Come on now. But hey, we're not talking about me right now. We're talking about Kalani and how she was dominating this game. Got the easy steal on Jada Curry, and the lane was wide open. I'm watching the live stream on my phone. I'm thinking she finna dunk it. And then she rolls up, womp womp, hit a layup. I mean, come on now. She be working out with me all the time. How does she not have bounce? But anyway, as the third quarter was winding down, she kept hooping. Hit another Euro lay and she was getting hyped. And then Stanford had ended up building up another small lead. As she got the steal, hey, she was playing on both ends of the floor tonight. She was going crazy. Had Jada Curry on her. Excuse me, you are too little. Hey, that lead, it was getting bigger and bigger. As she grabbed the board, pushing it in transition, and she was looking to go straight to her teammate and got the easy assist. And at this point in the game, hey, she was getting assist after assist after assist. I ain't gonna lie, she was basically doing it all. I mean, she was getting steals, rebounds, assists, and putting points on the board. And when Kanani playing like this, I ain't gonna lie, it's really not much other teams can do. Sometimes she be beating herself by shooting too much or passing too much, but when she fully locked in like she is now, the other team in trouble. And as y'all see, this game was a breeze, and Kanani had a 30-point triple-double. Like I said before, that would not be the first time Kanani went up against Juju Watkins and USC. Only this time, it was in the Final Four. And Kanani started off right away going straight to the cup, getting the bucket. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. She was definitely locked in from the get-go. And I ain't gonna fake it. Don't y'all think it's kind of crazy how I had my first game against USC and we lost, and then I came back and got some GBG, and Kanani played her first game against USC and lost. So now, let's see if she can do the same thing I did and get that GBG. And I ain't gonna lie, she was bombing at the start of this game, so it was looking like it was finna be one of those nights. But it's USC, man. But as you can see, Kalani's still going crazy from the three. It don't matter. Now remember how I told y'all Stanford was the 3 seed? Yeah, USC was the 1 seed. But Kalani ain't care about none of that. I was talking to her before the game, and she wasn't focused on nothing but completing this upset and making it to the national championship to get Stanford another one. And hey, she wanted her name in the record books as one of the people who helped bring a championship to Stanford. And she was doing it all, man. Like I said, she be getting the steals, the rebounds, and putting points on the board. And don't get me wrong, Kalani is very petty. I remember this one time, we was supposed to be working out for like an hour, but it was more like 10 minutes. So she was definitely mad at me for a little bit. And I definitely went without getting some play for like a week, but that's besides the point. Hey, what kind of Pop-Tart y'all like? Had the defender jumping and then drove for the easy lay. She was hooping this game, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. But as the game went on, it seemed like USC would just not go away. And she called for the screen, bumped the defender right off, and drove straight to the cup. Hit the 1-2 Euro step and got the reverse lay right over a defender. And once again she fell. I'm telling y'all, her knees be weak. What you think her pregame routine is? I ain't talking about like an hour or 30 minutes before the game. I mean the night before. Y'all know what's going on. Midway through the fourth, hey, it was looking like a reverse of what happened the first game. Stanford had a big lead over USC, and they was just looking dominant. And all it was the will of Kalani and the will of her teammates as well. And in 5 minutes, hey, it's a chance they could be right back in the national championship. And Kalani was doing everything to make sure that happened. She was crashing the boards, hustling. Next thing you know, it was 80-68 with 4 minutes left to go. Boom, she called for the screen, used it, and hit a crazy fading 3. Y'all remember that one I hit against UCLA? It was just like that. I'm telling y'all, she my twin. But she got the board, pushing it in transition, ended up going straight to the cup. But quickly dished it to the corner for a corner 3. But hey, it ain't stopped there. She killed this defender and then pulled up. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, that might be the nail in the coffin. 89-70. It was just a few minutes away before Kalani would be right back in the national championship. She did everything in this game. She was not going out like that. And it's looking like that GBG was going to be Kalani's. And Juju, she started heating up at the end. But by that time, it was too late. They tried the full court press, and Lonnie just went straight to the cup. And the worst part is, it did not stop there. On the very next possession, Kalani ended up calling the ISO, getting that nice little screen, and going straight to the cup again. But it didn't stop there either. On the next possession, called another ISO, Got the screen from Cameron Brink, snatching back, oh my goodness. Definitely sent that defender to the gulag. And just like that, Stanford was right back in the national championship game, all due to Kanani. Stanford will go on to win the national championship. And Kanani, her name was in the history books forever. And me and her talked a lot about what she should do afterwards. Should she do a 5th year to keep getting that NIL money? Or should she take her talents to the pros? And she decided to enter her name in the draft. Now I know y'all may be thinking, what chose me to go to DC? What made you want to go to the Wizards? Hey man, like I said, it's the new love in basketball. So while I was in DC, Kanani was right there with me. With the 5th pick in the draft, Kanani ended up going to the Washington Mystics. Ain't that crazy? Me and her hooping in the same city. Hey man, make sure y'all stay tuned, cause this couple about to shake up both leagues. Man, that was a crazy story. But next up, we're gonna take a break from Corey and Lonnie and introduce the new main character, Shaq Dio. Shaq is a 19-year-old player who became a viral sensation for the way he played overseas. I ain't even gotta say too much about this man. He's a full, undisclosed human highlight reel. But without further ado, let's get straight into it.
He's tough and super fun to watch. He does everything so well. He gets everybody involved. He can shoot it, get to the rim. Sneaky athletic too. If I had to watch somebody play and me pay to watch, he goes in that category.
So no matter what people say about him or how he's playing, he competes. I know they love that about him because every night he shows up and plays hard. So that's something you can't teach.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. I go by Shaq Dio to be exact. Did he say Diallo? Ain't that like the sauce packets that be at Taco Bell? Bro, what is you talking about? That's Diablo. Oh, yeah. Well, at least his name ain't NPC or something. What's your initials? SD? Like a SD card? Bro, I'm not finna call him SD card. Hey, Sean, what's your middle name, bro? It's Trey. Wait, Sean Trey Diallo? So we went from NPC to ST. Hey, chill. We just gonna call him Sean, bro. But go ahead and continue your story, my guy. I bet you're wondering how I got in this position to be a potential main character on BB3's channel. Well, I can go by simply saying I was a showstopper, a human highlight reel. When I was younger, my parents got me into basketball. Now, me being overseas, it would be hard for me to get into a Division I university. So that blessed me with the opportunity to potentially go pro at a young age. I've been grinding basketball since I was like 8 years old, and I officially made the pro team when I was 17. First couple years was rough, but now that I'm sitting at 19, almost 20, I started turning up. I got my buzz from having some of the most viral clips ever. Nobody in overseas ball was really doing it like that. Now, they definitely got some ballers, but when you think of a human highlight reel, like a Ja Morant, LeBron James, Kobe, MJ, I definitely got that capability. But let me tell y'all how my last season overseas went. It was definitely one for the books. Alright, so let me start off by saying my road definitely wasn't easy. Like I just told y'all, I've been doing this since I was 17. And at first, I struggled to even make it off the bench. At the start of this season, I was sitting at the 6-man spot, and I was looking to get into that starting lineup. But our team, we was stacked from top to bottom. I mean, they had some vets who had been hooping over here for 10 years. So I definitely had a lot to prove, but I definitely had the talent. We hopped into things a little fast, so let me explain to y'all my play style a little bit. My best attribute is definitely handling the rock. I model my game after like a Kyrie or an AI, but I'm sitting at 6'5" though, so I kind of get the best of both worlds. I could really do anything. I could rebound, play defense, push the tempo, but mainly, I look to do things on the offensive end. My coach has been telling me since I first joined the team, he thought I was a real complete player. And if you put me in an NBA game today, my offensive capabilities, man, they shoot through the roof. Now my defense definitely needs some work, but one thing I can also do is pass the rock, as I throw the lob up to our center and he drop in the nice lay. You see, most people don't understand how hard it is to play overseas. It's different rules and it's not as much opportunity. So to be real with y'all, if you overseas and you want to make it to the NBA, man, you got to be cold for sure. Hey! Most people think of FC Barcelona, they definitely think of Messi in soccer. However, after this year, they definitely was looking at the basketball team as well. I really put us on the map. It was after a slow start though. I mean, in my first game, I wasn't going as crazy as I did at the end of the season, and that's mainly because this was my first year being a sixth man. Normally, I was like barely getting in the game. I would always go crazy in garbage time though. I'd be putting up an insane amount of buckets in little time. And after going crazy in a lot of off-season scrimmages, coach finally decided it was time to pull the trigger on me. No Melly. Now let's get into why they call me the overseas highlight reel. Man, if I had somebody on me one-on-one, I was looking to put them in a blender every single time, like a ninja. Get it? Ninja blender? Yeah, you get it. It took me a while to get that confidence though. You can only imagine being 19 years old and you playing under the bright lights in a professional league with some people who already got kids and families. But if you got a dream of making it to the league, eventually, don't none of that matter. You want to get to where you want to go, and you ain't gonna let nothing stop you. But as this game was getting close to halftime, we had a sizable lead, and I was doing things here and there, throwing a bunch of lob passes, getting the crowd hype, sometimes ISOing, but I was finding my teammates pretty well this game, if I do say so myself. But like I said, I gotta work on that defense a little bit. You see, if a guy that's over here drop about 30, 40 on you, that mean if you go to the NBA, you might get about 60 put on your head. So that's definitely an area that I need to work on so that doesn't happen. But on the other end, you already know what it was. Straight Swiss cheese as I drive to the lane and hit a crazy acrobatic layup right over their PG. I told y'all, on offense, that's where I thrive, man. I could do it with some of the best of them. At least that's the confidence I got. My lay package was really different, bro. Think of like Kyrie lays, Jamal Crawford type of lays. I'm gonna be in that category pretty soon, if not already. Don't think I'm trying to say I'm better than those guys. I mean, those is NBA legends. I gotta give respect when it's due. But as the game winded down in the third quarter, this would be my last play. I ain't get too much time as a sixth man at the beginning of the season. That will grow over time. And I ain't cracked 20 points this game, but trust me, y'all want to stick around, because it's definitely going to get wicked. If any of y'all ever played Elden Ring, you already know how difficult that is. And that's exactly what I was going through game in and game out. The teams just got better and better. You see, the difference in playing pro basketball at 19 and going to like a Division I school, everybody is a pro, so nobody's really bad. I mean, everybody's fairly decent. This is the game where I started to separate myself though. Man, I had this one play, I came down the court, I hit this dude with some mean crossover. And little did I know, I would be in the SC top 10 shortly after that. But man, I remember that play like it was yesterday. I hit him with a behind the back, and he was stumbling all over the place. You could hear the whole crowd. And I just pulled up for the mid-range because a center was camping in the paint, and it was nothing but net. It was at that moment early where I realized if I could somehow master my craft, man, a lot of these dudes gonna be in trouble. And my NBA dreams would get closer and closer. So that's exactly what I set out to do. I started getting way more aggressive, And I mean calling ISO every time I come down the court aggressive. And as I've been watching the NBA lately, I think the best player in the league as of right now is Corey Cash. I mean, winning 2 rings in 2 years with 2 different teams is too crazy. You feel me? But I drove to the lane, got this spin move, and end up getting the and one bucket. I'm just paying homage to my guy, man, that's all. I'm also a fan of Lonnie Wade, though. Man, that dude could shoot. When it comes to Corey and Lonnie, though, one thing I think that's underrated about both of their games is their dribbling skills. I mean, the way they can get to where they want on the floor is crazy. That's exactly why I told y'all. I'm trying to get to that type of level. But if I can get there, I don't think it's going to be a single person on this earth that's going to be able to stop me. I'm confident though. But on the other end, they just hit the corner 3 right in my grill. Man, I'm over here talking about offense so much, I forgot to play defense. I told y'all, everybody over here is a pro and everybody got talent. It's not like you got some bench guys who are just okay. Even the guys on the bench might mess around and give you 30. But in this game, I just kept getting more confident as the game went on. I even rose up and dunked over their center. I didn't even think I had that in me. I definitely have a 37-inch vertical. It's not like a 40 or nothing crazy. I never really use it though. And if I do, it's just to get a tough layup or something. I'm not really big on dunking, but after that one, I wanted to dunk almost every possession. But man, the defenders overseas be hating. It's always somebody camping on the paint. You don't got the original 3-second rule, so they just be waiting. So I had to incorporate a floater into my game. And I also had to get my mid-range right. You see, that's a slept-on part of the game. Most of these kids nowadays just want to shoot threes or dunk. But the mid-range, if you master that, you could be a problem. Why don't everybody want to be 3-level scorers? They just want to be inside and out. I never understood that. Hey! And the game was already decided, but that did not stop me from going crazy. At the end, with 22 seconds left, y'all seen it, I rose up. I told y'all I don't be using my vertical like that, so that was the perfect point to go ahead and try something. Even though we lost this game, I dominated all around. Of course, I wasn't happy about the team not winning, but from a personal standpoint, I was frying them boys. Stir frying, no Migos. RP takeoff. Not only that, I also had a lot of highlight plays this game. It looked like I was playing street ball out there. Only thing is, it wasn't street ball. This was a professional game. But I made it look like we was playing NBA 2K or something. But with that being said, I had a 30-piece wing dinner, lemon pepper and garlic parmesan in this game. Hold the fries. But they did get fried though. We was on to the next. Now this next game, we was back at the crib after having a long road stretch. And let me tell you, it feel good when you hooping in your home arena. I actually felt like I played a little more confident when we was at home. But I guess that's how all hoopers do it. And we started off this game hot. We was beating this team. But man, they started hitting some wide open shots from 3 because we was not playing no type of defense. I mean, every time we got up against a team, we would think we could just settle, let our foot off the gas. But that's not even the case overseas. They don't do that in the well, they do that in the NBA sometimes, but still. Not to mention, we went on this stretch where we could not hit a bucket to save our life. I mean, this one specific play, I hit my teammate wide open for the corner 3, but it turns out it was just a bunch of corner bricks. I mean, we couldn't even hit a hippo in the back with a flat screen TV. But this next play, I absolutely shut the entire arena down. Broke them off and then... Hey! Talk about a sad way to go out. I told y'all during that last game, my confidence was getting higher and higher. I was really an ankle bully out here. By this point in the season, I had a bunch of ankle breakers. Y'all thought I was playing when I said I was a human highlight reel? I mean, I didn't give myself the name. That's what the people gave me. I couldn't even imagine getting crossed all the way into the paint from the 3-point line and then getting dunked on that same possession. If you ask me, that's crazy. Now, BB3 got some crazy plays on his channel. But let me tell you, I think y'all should put that in the top 5 at least. I mean, the only player I seen do that is Corey Cash. I'm not trying to say I'm no Corey Cash, but we ain't seen Lonnie do it. We ain't seen that NPC CPN guy do it. I'm the first to do it a second time. And like a backyard, man, we was playing that defense, yeah. And then right after we got this steal, I tossed a lob up, but for some reason, our center did not dunk it. I mean, this dude be acting scary, man, but they don't really be doing no crazy dunks overseas. That's NBA type time, must-see TV. And at this point, I was becoming must-see TV, which is exactly why I decided to keep cooking this whole game. I really had this mode I could tap into where I was just in the zone. I mean, I couldn't hear nobody. All I could see is the basket. And whoever was in front of me, might as well pray. And I was starting to tap into my dribbling bag something crazy. I mean, I was getting super shifty, and defenders wasn't able to stay in front of me easy. And you normally don't see nobody moving this quick at 6'5". But this game had a wonderful performance. Just had to keep going. At this point in the season, a lot of my highlights were surpassing over 500,000 views on all social media platforms, and I also had a few 100,000 followers on Instagram at this point. And that honestly made me want to come out every single night and not just hunt for highlights, but go out there and just have fun with it. And also go out there to destroy any opposition that was in front of me. When a lot of people start to succeed, they tend to slow down. But see me, I'm gonna keep my foot on the gas. My NBA dreams was becoming closer and closer. I got the platform to do it now. With all these followers, I know the NBA had eyes on me. And pretty soon, I will be in a couple different mock drafts. I already knew it. I don't care what number I go, and I honestly don't care what team either. Making it there is just the ultimate goal. I could put my family in a better position and just live out the dream. The next thing I want is an NBA championship. That's a lot of hard work though, as I get the tough layup right over the defender. I told y'all that lay package is crazy, but you ain't want to believe me. I don't think this Ricky Rubio lookalike did either, but he soon became a believer. To all the hoopers out there, have you ever went into a game, took the first couple shots, and then the next thing you know, you just pulling whatever and you can't miss for nothing? Yeah, that's how it was for me this game. But not only this game, basically for the rest of the season. I mean, they was playing a lot of good defense on me and keying in on me since I had been going crazy. But just like some double D's versus some B cups, I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it just ain't enough. And if you thought some of the plays you seen up to now was crazy, wait till you see this one. I was pushing in a transition, rolls up, and I don't even know what you call that, but I just brought the ball all the way back down to my kneecap and still hit the lay. I mean, when I went up, I saw the center coming over, so I had to think of something quick. Now that was definitely that Kyrie bag I've been working on. I didn't even know I could do stuff like that. After the season was over with and I was watching my own highlights, that was definitely one of my favorites from the whole year. I mean, that thing was crazy. As much as I could be arrogant and cocky, I really don't be on that type of stuff. I just come out there and I be excited to hoop. I don't really get into all the extra beef and getting into it and fighting. I just come out there and give you buckets. And if you got a problem with that, you gotta stop me. I'm not finna worry about no reporters and press conferences afterwards. You gotta deal with me on the court. All that stuff outside of the court is just extra noise. When we in between them lines, it's like boxers when they get in the ring. It's really all about the last man standing. And if it's me versus you, you best believe I'm gonna be the last man standing. It's just how I was raised. My dad taught me that. And that's the mentality I've had since I was little. Y'all heard of that Mamba mentality, but this the Diallo mentality. And I feel like everybody should have it. And just when you thought it was over, I had another crazy play for the highlight reel. Hit a step back, spin move, and threw up something crazy, and it went in. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I was the defender, I'd be heated. Because there's absolutely nothing in the world that you could do about that. I literally threw it up last second right when my feet was about to hit the floor. Hey, some people just different. And that's exactly how you describe me. And as the game went on, we kept on extending our lead. Hey, we was a pretty dominant team this season. I mean, when we first started, it took us a couple of games for us to get our first loss. And when I say a couple, I mean at least like 10 to 12 games. So maybe it's a little more than a couple. But since we on the topic of couples, that dunk definitely just got me a couple more 1,000 followers. Cause I dunked it right on his head. I don't know why he didn't move out the way. I was gonna lay it at first, but once I seen him, I had no choice. It was either go big or go home. And most of the times when I'm in that situation, it always pays off. I don't ever end up going home, unless it's with a baddie. But you know they say things come better in pairs, so I drove to the lane and got another dunk. And I would end up finishing out this game, my highest point game of the season. 43 of them things. And just like that, here we go. Another one. No DJ Khaled though. But this time, we going against an NBA legend, Kemba Walker. Was I nervous coming into this game? Nah. I played a couple different guys that have been in the league since I've been overseas. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I never really feared them at all. I wanted to go at them even more. I was trying to get the spot that they once had. And as soon as the game started, off the rip, I went straight to the lane, full delay. And we were only 2 possessions into the game when I got my first highlight. Went behind the back and did a reverse lay right after that. Man, I know y'all at home watching. Y'all gotta believe this is must-see TV. I'll be out here doing some stuff your favorite player don't even be doing. Granted, this is overseas and I ain't touched the NBA court yet. But if y'all don't think I got that charisma, that star power, come on, man. Nah, I'm just playing with y'all. Y'all know I'm just here to hoop. As I drove to the lane and got the 3rd layup of the game. Talk about a hot start. After I hit that 3rd layup, I was thinking to myself, man, these boys might be in trouble. But they do got Kemba Walker at the other end, so I gotta steer clear. Cause at any moment, I know that dude could change the outcome of this game. And this one could end up going down to the wire if we both hitting. But we started off with a 10-4 lead, drove to the lane and got yet another wild layup. That was back to back to back to back. Hey! And I know y'all didn't think the crazy layups was over. At this point, I was out there just trying stuff, man. I was really looking like Uncle Drew. Uncle Sean to be exact. But after that layup, this would be where the game would completely change. I ended up picking up my 3rd foul, and coach took me out the game for way too long. And them boys ended up finessing the lead. So we went from dominating this team to fighting our way back into this game. And I was leading the charge. I was trying everything humanly possible to put the ball in the basket. And shortly after I got back in, we had another major highlight. Hey! I don't even know why that boy tried to jump. But despite me going crazy, we still had to stop them on the other end. And our defense, for some reason, just couldn't get one. They was hitting shot after shot after shot. I don't know why coach would take me out. I mean, that just threw off the whole rhythm. It didn't throw off my rhythm though, because when I came back in, I just got to doing what I was doing beforehand. But I had to turn it up a notch though. I didn't even know I had this type of switch. But man, y'all thought what I was doing earlier was crazy. This game I went to a whole new level that I didn't even know I could reach. Them boys was mean mugging me up and down the court. And on top of that, I was throwing some crazy passes too. Just trying to get some energy and get my teammates involved. Cause I definitely can't win this game by myself. And we gonna need all of that. We was coming back from a 15-point deficit. Every time we hit a bucket, it felt like we had a chance. But man, Kemba and his team, they was just going insane. They wasn't really missing nothing. So I just kept on attacking. Hey! And and I was going to live with the results. 5 minutes left to go in the fourth. They finally ended up missing the shot, and we drove down, hit that boy with a series of moves, wide open at the lane, easy layup. You know how I do it. At this point in the game, I didn't even know how many points I had. All I knew was we was running out of time and we needed buckets. So really my point count didn't even matter. In the back of my mind though, I did know I was having a great performance for this being my first game starting. To be honest, maybe he should have started me the whole season. I don't think I was ready yet though. I kind of had to grow into the player I am now. The type of player that would be keeping us in a tight game in the fourth quarter, I didn't even think I could do that. Speaking of the fourth quarter, that was the time where Kemba would normally shine. He hit a jump shot right over me. Man, that felt like a punch right in the gut. But I came down on the other end, drove, and ended up getting an one bucket. And in that situation, that's exactly what we needed. This game was close the whole time. You can't be giving up and ones, Kemba. And he knew it. That's exactly what he was telling his teammate. And with the help of my heroic activities, we ended up getting right back in this game. We was down by 2 with about 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. You know me, I call ISO on Kemba. And I ended up throwing down the one-hand jam. Next possession they scored, so I call ISO again. It wasn't a dunk this time though. It ended up being a smooth layup, which made it a tie game. And on the other end, hey, it was Kemba Walker time. He drove and somehow hit the shot over 2 people. I thought our center had a good chance at blocking that, but he just missed it by like a centimeter. And Kemba was trying to taunt afterwards. And me personally, I didn't take that lightly. So on the next possession, I drove right on him. Got the nice little pro hop, and I threw up the layup, but I low-key knew I missed it. Luckily, my teammate followed up, got the putback, and he made that thing. Man, I was hyped. We had the lead, and all we had to do was just close this game out. And they ended up fouling me. I just had to hit my free throws. And on the season, I was an 83% shooter from the line. So my team was not worried with giving me the ball in that situation. And just like that, man, I hit both, and we would end up closing this game out. Back-to-back incredible performances, not to mention, these highlights was going to be all over social media. Just like that, we was at the last game of the season. Well, not for the team, but for me. And I'm going to tell y'all why in a minute. But we started off how we normally do, hitting a crazy highlight. This time it was the first play of the game though. It wasn't like the second or third. Now they had a tough point guard in Chris Jones on this team. So I was just looking to outduel them and see what I could do up against them. I mean, their team wasn't better than us, and we knew that. As I drove and got a tough layup right over their center. But like I was saying, they was tough, but not tough enough. I had a conversation with my coach before this game, and he was just telling me how he respected the way I approached the game. I mean, even with all this media attention and the chance that I was going to go to the NBA, I always stayed locked in. I had been that way since he had known me as a 17-year-old kid, just trying to make it. 2 years later, I didn't even think I'd be in the position I was in. But low-key, coach told me he did. That's why he took the chance on putting me in the lineup more this year. And ultimately it paid off. Luckily I stayed in the gym and stayed focused. And if I didn't, man, I probably would have ended up falling off the board like a lot of guys do. So I'm really blessed to be in this position. Let me be living proof to everyone watching. If you just put your mind into it, stay consistent, and have a passion for it, man, you can do anything you want. I'm a kid from overseas who about to be playing professional basketball in the NBA, the biggest league in the world, with the best of them. And some of the guys who have come from different countries are some of the biggest stars in the NBA. You got Giannis, Luka, and Jokic. Hey, maybe Diallo will be in that conversation pretty soon. And on this play right here, I ended up crossing this dude into the shadow realm. Got the nice easy layup to finish. My handle had really came a long way. It went from good to great to extremely great. Now I was basically crossing the defender over every possession. My boy Corey Cash got the nickname the Nightmare in Transition. I might be the Nightmare in the half court. But ironically, the next possession we was in transition and I ended up pushing it and rose up for a nice two-handed jam, no toast, no butter. But in the words of the great announcer on NBA Jam, he's heating up. And I started to go crazy, man. I wasn't missing no shots. It's like something snapped. That switch was flipped. And I don't even know who this dude was that was guarding me, but I'm gonna have to send some flowers to his mama crib after this, cause that boy got smoked. Welcome to the bonus stage, young brother. You ain't making it out of this stage though. Cause once I start dribbling, hey man, you might as well grab your Bible, grab your holy water, and ask Jesus to help you. Cause at that point, that's the only man that can. I think my step back midi was becoming elite. If a defender somehow ended up stopping me from driving to the lane, that would be my go-to. I mean, who can stop a step back, first of all, especially if you're good at it. Y'all know how James Harden used to smoke people with that? I mean, Luka got a mean step back too. But just make sure y'all don't forget about your boy Diallo. To close out this game, we was firing on all cylinders. My teammates was hitting shots too. It wasn't just me. And man, this season was everything I expected it to be. And I'm just talking about the idea of me growing into a better player. But it turns out, not only did I do that, I grew into an elite player. And I was going so crazy on social media, the world know who I am now. Just a kid playing overseas ball at 19 that's finna be in the NBA. I know the girls back at home watching is gonna love this. I'm telling you, man, that's gonna be one of my biggest distractions when I make it to the league. But if I can survive from the overseas foreign women, I think I'll be alright. However, we still had the game to finish. These boys weren't completely over with yet. We had an 11-point lead and it was almost halftime. Called for the nice screen and roll, drove to the lane, got another acrobatic layup as I usually do. Kept going with the screen and roll action, and I posted this dude up by the free throw line. Turn around fade, no MJ, no Kobe. Really tapping into that bag. And on this play, I ended up missing the layup, but it's all good. Swiper, no swiping. Let me get that right back and throw the flashy pass right to our center. The human highlight reel was in full effect. 8 seconds left to go. You already know what I'm doing. Calling ISO, drove to the lane, dished it off, and we got the flush with 1.3 left to go. To be real though, there was a couple times this game where I basically did travel. The refs just didn't see it, I guess. But hey, I'm not no ref, so I ain't gonna say nothing if y'all don't say nothing. But as long as we putting points on the board, I don't care if I get away with 5 steps. Even though most likely that'll never happen. But 49-33, still had some game left to go. Drove and got another easy finish. I think it was easy, maybe difficult to y'all. Nah, I'm playing, but kept on getting in attack mode and just doing a bunch of crazy stuff with the layups. Really just experimenting out there. And at this point, we was up by Dub Club. And to make it worse, I got another and one bucket. It's like the third time in this movie, right? Don't get me wrong, it was only the third quarter, but I feel like both teams definitely knew that this thing was over with. They started doubling me. I really didn't know why they did that, like I couldn't pass. Because on this play, I found my teammate wide open for the tray ball. And you already know what he do. Boom! Knocked it down, and that was basically the dagger. We was gonna get them boys out of here. But for me, this would be my last game overseas. With all the draft buzz, I decided to opt out so I could focus on my work and get ready for this next chapter in my life. It was definitely a difficult decision. We was good, We could have even competed for a championship. But I talked to my coach about it, and he agreed that this would be the best decision for me. A lot of the mock drafts got me in the top 10. Hey man, my dreams is finna come true. Now the only question that's left to be answered is, will I be a role player? Will I end up being a main character? I guess stay tuned and find out. And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it. We got to take a look at all of the classic movies that dropped from BB3 in this year's 2K, NBA 2K24. 2K25 drops early September, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna be more classic movies, and we're gonna keep sharing, we're gonna keep growing this channel, and it's gonna even be bigger than this year. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe. I appreciate all y'all, man, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.